Hey Celestial. Hey, Ouch. Hey Lights, Rain, Blaze. How you guys doing? Ow. Hey Paul.
Struggles in the opener.
I will not be skipping the first map. Hey Sato. Hey JT. Wait, 1 second. 1 second. I think I remembered where my drugs were. 1 second. Nope. I'm either getting old and forgetting stuff, or there weren't 2 packages of these antibiotics in the first place, and I don't know which one is which. Still don't like that Teo pick. I like the Teo pick. I like Teo on this map. I think Teo is very strong on this map. I saw Giant X run Viper Deadlock Saps on Bind and they alternated the sets frequently as a coach. How do you adapt without prior prep? You have to. So a lot of Valorant is most of the work for Valorant is done before you get into the server or even before the prep. The way that I would prepare my teams would be to almost inherently anti-strat the things they're playing against before we even get to preparation. If the team doesn't know how to play a deadlock comp before they play against a deadlock competent official, they're fucked. They're not fucked, but like the whole point of practice is to figure those things out in practice. We would know how to play against deadlock on any map in principle before playing against a deadlock. So if we look at agent select and deadlock gets picked, I would remind them of all the things that they probably need to do against a deadlock. Hello, everyone. What if a fresh sub and has never been played? It doesn't matter. Like, obviously they're going to get some advantage in showing stuff that's new, but the same principles apply. The same things apply as to why deadlock is good as to any comp. So when people play Waylay +1 duelist, like they play double duelist Waylay, there's going to be things in which you're going to be playing against that you've never seen before, and it's going to win them a few rounds. But ultimately, it's still like a double duelist at its core, and so you just play against it like it's double duelist. In terms of micro, you might have to then start thinking a little bit more about how you change setups, like the micro setups, to deal with that style. But in principle, it's the same as a double duelist comp. So I won't be. No, I'm not watching Heretics T1 after. I don't have time. We only have time for this game. The other thing is to remind players that as soon as they see what the comp is doing, you have to communicate properly, right? So like whatever setup they're running on defense, you have to start talking about it as soon as you see it. Because Bowser's going to have a lot easier of a time if he knows where the deadlock is putting trips and walls and stuff, you know. What do you think about esports being a course at university? I wouldn't recommend doing an esports course at the moment. I don't think it's like a waste of time, but I don't think it's efficient. Like the way I describe it is like if you want to become Like, let's say like you want to do broadcast work in esports. All you do is you go and do that part of the degree. Just go do a broadcast degree. You don't need this part of the degree. So that's how it works. Like if you want to do graphic design for esports, you go do a graphic design degree. And then I feel sorry for you for both doing a graphic design degree and wanting to work in esports as a graphic designer. Because, yeah. Hello, Joel the Sailor. Okay. Right, let's get into it. So I think that there's a lot of anti-hate for this comp because I think Sliggy's against the Teo. I think that's the that's the vibe I get. I'm gonna put some counter propaganda out that I really think the Teo in this comp is actually really strong. I think this comp in general is very strong. I think that G2 are onto something perhaps without playing Viper on this map though. I do think Viper might lead you to some free wins at times against certain teams. But the G2 variation with the deadlock is interesting to me. It's the first time I say that out loud that like no Viper bind might be acceptable. But given the way the comp plays, I think it's fine. You do see G2 with problems on their attack side without the Viper though, so I'm still hesitant about the Viper. But I for sure I think that Teo is underrated. The drone is the best drone in the game, and Bind thirsts for drones. Bind is a map that you basically have, in my opinion, you basically are like the way that I see Bind on attack is that you basically have a playbook if you have 2 drones and a playbook if you don't have 2 drones. And your playbook becomes very different if you have access to a second drone or not, because you can do splits on A and splits on B a lot easier if you have access to lots of entry util. You can of course still do those splits, but it's like if you're not doing them with this comp, then you've kind of fucked up. So we're gonna focus on Fnatic this game because they're the ones who win the series and they're ones who made playoffs. So a pretty simple 2-1-2 where the Yoru can be the float. He's gonna put a TP down at some point. Retake on A. So Fnatic's gonna be looking at. Interesting that we see the separation here. Like Bosa doesn't want anything to do with lamps, which means that Chronicle's in an island. So I'm interested to see how Chronicle would play the island, whether they're going to TP to kind of support him on that island, or he's just fucked.
Had an absolute long game. We know that Chronicle's a consistent factor for this squad, but Bosa hitting that form twice in a row, looking unlikely, I'd say. Who knows though?
I've seen his operator come out on this map and be fairly fierce. At least for now though. Start from the defense was a little bit of early B control. However, MIBR seeming passive. Still an opportunity for an immediate rotate from Artsin. But he's going to try and put some pressure in to hold players to this side of the map.
This is nice from MIBR. We see prep already, I believe. You're playing a Yoru. You can TP out. They know that Alpha is B long 99% of the time. The Yoru going up B long and baiting out the trap that is probably here is a strong idea. He needs to hurry the fuck up though.
To go and take those fights. They haven't gone and taken those fights just yet, but what we are seeing, the push up coming through from Chronicle, he's fully.
So because of that Yoru TP away, he calls for his team to come towards B. But they just, oh my god. Chronicle has got his balls out and just decided to push showers despite there being almost no information on the map at all. So he pushes, which means that they can all rotate to 4B. These push outs from the extremities on this map are what wins defense teams games. Well, one of the reasons they win games. It's crazy, to be honest with you. Don't watch this map, bro. I mean, you should watch this. This is how you, if you watch this, maybe you win more than 3 rounds. How are you, bro? Well played yesterday.
An exodus of the A site now as Fnatic stack up on B, ready for the hit that MIBR are about to go for.
I defend your comp, by the way. There's some haters out here for this comp. I actually defend this comp. I quite like it.
What MIBR would want to be looking for. They saw a player teleport.
Yeah, so Kron's push means that they can play 4B. I really, it's a very risky push. It wasn't really informed off of much. Like, it was just a Yoru pushing up. So to me, it's a good sign, but it's also a bit like, well, there was only one player long B that made you do that push.
That's not the case though.
Let's see how Crashes uses his. He's gonna put his eye up here, I think. In ranked, I just put it on here because it never gets broken in ranked if I just quick do it here.
Full stack. Not a bad start though. Cortezia is going to get the opener.
Now they've come in, drawn first blood. Now the pressure mounting for Fnatic. The remaining players on the site, though, still have plenty of backup. The messy fight for Kayak, and he goes down with the punish right after Crash. He's managing one, and Alpha are still flying under the radar, but he...
What did Jake do?
The case though.
I think ideally, shouldn't Jake smoke, like get a star down here maybe? He gets fully killed through smoke, which is unlucky. That's a very unlucky death, because Boaster would have been one of the players allowing Chronicle to buy time for this flank, if that makes sense. Like, Kayak and Crashes are kind of stuck on site. But like right here, like if Boaster was alive too, him and Alpha would be able to stay alive, and then Chronicle could like do the flank, and then Crashes just tries to get as many as he can.
Finding the players a different story, but MIBR making a good job of it. But then Chronicle's flank comes through.
Yeah.
Pain in the side. MIBR find only one left, and Alpha gave them the info.
It's nice to see Alpha here on elbow feeling like it's almost like because he doesn't have access to any util to allow him to go through that smoke, it's almost helped him. Because it was probably the correct play to wait for this flank in this situation. Comms were low. Makes sense. I mean, you started defense bind against a double duelist team. Like, these, they can happen. Defense bind is sometimes just rough. And then your comp is like a trap comp where like they can kind of get past a lot of the ideas you probably have. Like you might, yeah. Like I haven't watched this, so I don't know what happens. But... So eco round, orb grab. I think the best one I've ever seen is like a team who does like 2 here, 3 here. They grab the orb, take the TP, and then take this one. You can also fake that too, where you like, you put a bunch of people here, some people TP, and then you just stack a bunch of people behind the TP. Oh wait, it's not a fucking, oh, I'm fucking tired. Fnatic are on their fucking anti-eco. Of course they're not doing that shit. Okay, so this is what the bread and butter is. Alpha is going to be here, Boast is going to be here, Kron's going to be the short player using the orb. Kron's pretty good at using this orb. I'd imagine Kayak is the kind of float player. He's going to be the player who can go anywhere he wants to, and then Crashes is kind of the pseudo showers player. There is an argument I think I would try to switch. Like, I've never been the biggest fan of Fade Long B, but I think Teo might... There's advantages and disadvantages for Fade playing here and Teo playing here. Like, I think Fade's really good at just getting soft info showers. He can seize, and he's generally pretty good at A player. I would say that Teo is slightly better on A than he is on B. In my opinion. I think Sawos and Stun are better on A than they are on B. But in both cases, they're probably better A players than B players, maybe. I do think when you play like Gecko Fade, I didn't mind the Fade being A. We tried the segment already. I think that historically, I've been one of those people that when I saw Fades play Long B, back when like just after the Sky nerf, I think they were wrong to play Fade B Long. I think that Because like you're essentially prowling and accepting that you're not going to be able to hold B long as a fade. But you can't do it as a Teo either, really. I do think that the fade A is underrated for sure. It's just that because you're playing the Teo, I do wonder if the Teo. I don't know. I think both are fine. I'd have to figure it out, and I can't be bothered.
Even just creating that gap, though, it's worked out so far for MIBR, being able to get boots on the ground on the backside, but 14 seconds left, and Fnatic finding another. This is looking increasingly unlikely, but there we go. The different plan position ends up
we're throwing.
dodging the salvos. Verno finds Boaster. Remember, Crashies is still very, very low, and he'll fall at Verno's hands. This is already a great round for MIBR, and a chance to build even further.
Yeah, this is a good round for MIBR. They can't win, but... Okay, so low buy, we don't see Fnatic do anything different, which is a little bit surprising. Like, if you got like one rifle, I think there's two options. We give Kayak this rifle and tries to run around the map trying to get kills, or Alpha has it and we actually just do something together, but they're not doing anything. They're prioritizing Orb, which is fine because they are close to winning ults. But it would be nice to see them do something together, because they're not going to win against the guns, right? Unless they do something special. So we see Euro towards B, and then a reclear on B long. I'm surprised that drone is allowed to go through. To some degree, I'm surprised Jake doesn't dissipate here to help the drone survive, but... I don't think Boaster was on the same page as them here. Boaster just hears salvos and immediately thinks he needs to stun, but he doesn't realize that they're not in that kind of position. So he's basically just stunning off his own teammate. Yeah, this is very strange. This is a set re-clear on B long that you should be doing from outside B long, but because Alpha and Kayak control Octagon, it's like they're doing their set re-clear. Like they know there's nobody. I don't understand. They know there's nobody here. Why are they salvoing here? Why are they stunning here? It should be the salvo should be down here, right? That's the problem sometimes we had in Fnatic when I was coaching, was like we do very set things with set protocols. And if the players didn't fully get it at times, like you see stuff like this happen where it's like there's a clear disconnect, I think. Like Kayak wants to do the trap. I don't know. So there's a disconnect or miscommunication or something. Alpha can see his teammate looking here. He knows there's nobody here. Like, I don't really get it.
A gate crash taken. Well, yeah, the main thing will be gambling on positions. A gate crash taken. What does he already adding one and a nice double opener into
I like how MIBR playing this though.
Veto is heading in the other direction, and with Althea being spotted, I can only assume that that TP must be considered. Walking back into where the
using the Yoru like a Yoru on attack. Like they are using the like always like by himself ready to go join the pack with a TP. It's very nice.
Attack sides coming out of Fnatic, but last time it was also an 8-1 defense, so a map that they feel incredibly comfortable on. And for MIBR, last two times they played it really struggled. A map that they feel
Alpha's just This is the kind of play. Thank you, Wazora. Thank you for the sub. Hey, sorry, by the way, I forgot you raided me yesterday. I didn't see. Thank you for the raid yesterday. Do you think MIBR can beat RRQ? Yeah, of course. So this is the kind of play. Alpha's doing a kind of play where like if they're on low buy and he's the one with a gun, then like what he's doing is good. But what he's doing when there's what is the win condition of this round? The win condition of this round is Kayak getting kills with the op, Crashies has a fade up. So like the win conditions are here and here, And Alpha's basically saying, nope, the win condition is me killing someone with a FAMAS, a Bulldog. And like, that's just not the case, right? He also has fucking half armor and just gets outlawed. Like, he needs to let the operator work its magic, right? To give him some credit, he did get the dissipate to try and cross. And I think on that cross, he probably would have been able to help crunch the showers if he wanted to go through. Like, he could stand here, stun through, and like go crunch with them. So maybe it was just a missed timing on the dissipate or a missed comm on the dissipate. I don't know, but oh, nice bait and switch.
You think once that op fires off that he'll back off. You'll get at least a little bit of space for the life you've traded out, instead doubling down on the disadvantages with Crashies.
Jesus, Kron. Yeah, this is one of those that didn't need to do that moments.
You know, you want to see the jump peak there, grabbing a bit of info, and he goes swinging out wide. Ends up going down to 46. Look, there's still a serious chance, and as you said, the shield in play.
Yeah.
It's a double barrel operator. Chronicles fallen now on the attempt to cross on backside. Crashy's almost losing his life to that outlaw. Now, on the attempt to cross on backside, Crashy's almost losing his life.
I was gonna say here, but it looked like a bit of a disconnect on ideas. So, Spike is down showers. Kayak has an op. Spike is down showers. Kayak has an op. It's not the easiest round to solve, I don't think. You don't necessarily. I don't think you wanna go heavy into showers to protect the spike. I think what happens here is you play 3A, Kayak's on B with an op and able to dip out with TP. And then if they do end up going B, you just fade out retake in the 4v3. And in the meantime, you keep hold of lamps and one back sight. But because Kron takes all that damage, he gets away from lamps. And then they do concede showers, but then they're just both downside. Yeah, silly round from Fnatic. A lot of silly individual mistakes. Hello, Trubon. What teams am I rooting for to win Champions Paris? I mean, Paper X. Like, I'm working on Paper X.
Very little danger, and what danger there is can be very easily avoided. All thanks to that Yoru ultimate being activated. Never mind. Artson has gone down. Chronicle finds one. That's a weapon retrieved for Crashies. Has gone down. All thanks to that Yoru ultimate danger there is can be very easily avoided. All thanks to that Yoru ultimate being activated. Never mind. Artson has gone down. Chronicle finds one. That's a weapon retrieved for Crashies. With the Nightfall in effect, MIBR. I mean, they're not even back to the starting position. Obviously, not down, but look at where.
So MIBR, I kind of locked in the site, but them just playing very slow here is good. Bosa can't push out or do anything because he's got a Bucky. The economy's so low for Fnatic. It's just anti-Cortesia here.
I'm looking at the position of the spike. It's very far away from the rest of the troops. Like, just making a lurk play, maybe checking if there's any sort of flank, but it definitely feels like Venom could easily have just mollied the door, right? It definitely feels like a bit of a gamble. Crashies as well, already managing to add another to the death toll, and Aspas, he's kind of stuck in the mud, but still manages to get two. A quick double to make this round look a lot more palatable. Fnatic having a chill in their hand. 35 seconds and the op is still on this A side. They know about Alpha here. Soon they'll know about Kayak as well. That position spotted. Aspas thinking about the deep swing. It's all down to the shot, and it's got supposed to hit it. Aspas.
The third round looking
pretty good, I know.
Aspas will find these with two players to root out. Choosing wisely out of the way. He is trying to bait them into a fight. They've seen he's not diffusing, but he's isolated one as a result. Alpha playing this masterfully, but the clock, his biggest enemy, if not this. You look at what he's trying to do in terms of having that high.
What do you think of that fade out? It's fine. I think You could argue it was early, but it's very easy. It's very easy for me to look at the POV on the map and say that it was early, rather than like how it feels to be in the POV of Crashes in that position. Like I don't know what the comms were like or what it felt like to be stood where he was. You know what I mean?
Big ultis online. Kayak's had that dimensional drift for a while, but he has a big challenge coming. Heavy traffic. About to swing right into him. In fact, not swinging. Walking.
You want to kind of time it when they're about to plant,
He gets out for free.
so that you know you're going to get a lot of people and you can combo it more damage due to. But I mean, Crashes is smart enough to know that. It's just that you don't know what the timing felt like. Without the replay system. Oh my god. What happened here? So they know there are people showers, so they know it is a shower split right now. But it feels like Fnatic are playing this as if they don't know it's a shower split. I think they need to smoke, don't they? In showers. I think they need to smoke showers. They know there's someone showers. And it feels very awkward to play. Like, they've lost lamps control. They don't have lamps control. They don't have showers control. You can't just play with this one smoke. They need to smoke this off so they can start like moving around the space a bit more freely. Otherwise, they're gonna just get shot from lamps and showers, and maybe even push through.
An advantage that's quickly faded away though. MIBR, they're rolling all over this A site.
You're not a fan of Asher Smoke default in almost any situation. Doesn't work like Brim or Viper smokes do. I don't think the reason you smoke default is necessarily because of the push through thing. Like, I think that's an additional benefit when playing like a Euros. You could sit in the smoke and like pop flash through or something. But I don't think it matters. I think it's still fine to smoke that. But if you lose control of two things and you don't have anything to work with, then I don't mind your theory though. Like I think that you could be on something when you're playing
He's been putting up numbers early on here. You know, the showstopper, as well as you said, it didn't find anything. It got them space, but even then, had a brawl for that space. Had a man on there, by the way, 8 and 2, playing on that Viper.
Oof. There we go.
Maybe not quite so lucky. That's an immediate pick for Alfia. Bear in mind, the only rifle currently on the board, but Verno's reaction is almost immediate. That advantage hasn't lasted for long. Kayak realizing this fight was not one he wanted to take. Once again,
It's just low, but I don't think Fnatic can do anything. They switched their positions because of Chronicle ult. He uses it so quickly. I guess it's not the worst idea when you're playing against ults. I think it would be better if Boaster was playing here this round because Alpha has tail. But they're probably used to playing the ult like this.
I guess the real challenge for MIBR coming into this now. Those ults from Fnatic have been saved up.
No. I thought Alpha would know. Bro, I had to tell them. The amount of times I had to tell them about this on Raise was a lot. So I think that when you literally 1 minute 24, he knows the fade is there. And actually, I think it's fine. The problem I have, or I was thinking about with this drone, is that he knows there's someone there. What he's trying to do is confirm whether there's more people there. But there's a very, very high chance that he's not going to be able to confirm more people there. The fade will just break his drone. Or he gets C's ulted. Okay. I mean, Crasher tried to save him, but there was nothing to save.
just sneak it, gotta move quick. As the credits have, it's gonna be a very strong.
Yeah, in terms of information redrawing, I'm not convinced that that was correct.
Alpha's gotta move quick. He's caught by the seas, but has just enough space to sneak his way out. In the meantime, though, Crashy's through the teleport.
Sometimes droning where they are is a good move if you're able to confirm numbers. But yeah, in general, you want to drone where they're kind of where your question marks are, right? So like when Sticky does the question marks on the map, so this is not a question mark, this is not a question mark, this is a question mark, this is a question mark. After 5 to 10 seconds, this becomes a question mark. It changes from a we know they're here to a question mark. And you wanna redrone it when it becomes the question mark again.
Player TPing, the A side has to be a bit weaker.
It's almost like if I was a coach in a like if we had the resources like football did, or soccer for Americans, I would make a game. I'd make my club make a game called like drones or something, and then like I put situations on the map in which like we know where people are and we don't know where people are, and they have to choose the timing and the position of where to re-get information. Because like I think that that would actually kind of pop as a game. Like it's a pretty easy concept to like gamify, I think.
Rotate from Kayak, and with his gate crash, he can feel comfortable sticking around on A for a while. But it's come in.
There's obviously complicated situations in which like it's probably fine and it's not that deep, but there's some just basics that I think that like people would What do you do if your players think that it's a bit gay and just want to scrim instead? You kick them from your team. That's what I did. Sorry, I cut my finger.
Still, plenty of ultimates to play with. That operator in hand. A gap being searched for, but it's caught his ear again. Nice shot, will at least find the trade, but that jump up from above needs to be watched for, and instead it's another of the main body of this force. Still, plenty of ultimates to play with. That operator in hand.
How did they get owned here? Oh, Boaster just re-peaks. Yeah, it's just lots of individual shit, honestly. Like, it's one of those games where it's just every single round someone's dying on defense, man. Every single round. We had this happen. This is what happened against EG in the finals in Tokyo. Like, they played that Reina comp, and it was just like we just gave away a pick every single fucking round. It was very boring. Very boring to watch. Very boring to coach. The fuck? So he's in a position where he can ult two sides.
You gotta trust the boys to find those solutions. Alpha.
If Kayak had done any conditioning on this TP, it would have helped as well. But they haven't been conditioning this TP. Like if Kayak had been putting clones through and running through and stuff, it would have helped. Again, another individual mistake to some degree. Yeah, it's honestly a little bit boring. Like, MIBR had a foundationally some good Euro, like, just basics. But a lot of this game so far has just been free Pixie. Okay, so this is... So the full smoke to get Alpha across. But he's got ult. We don't want to be sat in that corner with the ult, I don't think. I think there's a very reasonable argument that Boaster shouldn't be the hooker player. I think Boaster generally does struggle around hooker. And it isn't an easy spot to play as an Astra. Or if he's going to play it, he can't play it in the way he's playing it right now. Where it's very aggressive. Or like pseudo-aggressive. Like he's just taking 100 damage again.
Found them a lot of value in the early round. But in the last, they were spread too thin. It could be the same here. Crashy's walking up, and he will get the jump on Cortez.
The implication would be that I think he'd have to become the short player, but the thing is that Chronic was really good at playing short.
Verno down as well. This round seems to have no contest from MIBR.
Didn't fancy Aspas as Neon at Haven. I don't fancy Neon on Haven. I think Neon on Haven is just ass. Compared to Yoru, my fucking king. Yoru is just too good to not play. I don't get, like, why is it a handshake agreement that, like, we're allowed to play Yoru everywhere and it's the best, but on Haven it's not? I don't get it. With that Viper comp, texture, like I said it on Twitter, texture's done damage to everyone's brains. Everyone thinks they're texture. The only reason that texture plays that Asian on that map is because he's very good at Neon. Like, it's not optimal. Some teams play Yoru on Haven. Only ISO Yoru teams do, and G2. Neon Haven is exclusively good in the Breach comp. Yeah, I think if you're gonna play it, you play it in the Breach comp, and then you play 2 bad agents instead of 1. But at least they synergize. You're making a lot of individual mistakes on Bayern. Solo Waylay in the Genji comp. I'm not sure. I think I don't see the vision personally. Compared to Yoru, I think if you're playing any deep dive agent in a comp that doesn't want you to deep dive, is probably not correct.
Barriers going up at a big round for Fnatic. 4 ultis to play with. Haven't got that Viper's pit back online, but we also haven't gotten to see the ult popped by Alpha here. We've already seen the impact that those salvos can have if well placed, and you might see what happens when it's combined a little bit later on. So Alpha seems set to be alive for a retake if Fnatic need it. MIBR sending every single player towards this A side, already expending some utility in that direction, hoping that they get some aggression. This was Artson sent out to catch that bathroom push, but a very patient display from the defense.
Yeah, I guess expecting a change and thus delivering one of their own, but also again, look how many ultimates are available for Fnatic. They can take that little bit of an extra risk and it won't cause them too many issues, though, saying that Chronicle has taken...
They've just waited for 2 TPs. Like, Kayak has had to use 2 TPs in this round. Like, what have MIBR done this round? Like, if we had a zoom in on the minimap right here, what have they done? They've done nothing. What is this calling? Like, what's going on? We spend 50 seconds to pop the Razor. I don't understand.
That Armageddon has been online for a long, long time. And the counter already being thrown in to try and deny that showstopper, but it will not be denied. The response, though, from
Crashes pops off here, right? This shot was nice. That part was nice.
the response, though, from Crashes is huge.
Reset in here is very underrated.
The response, though, from Crashes is huge.
Like, he just waits and then he resets. Nice.
He'll find 4 before falling. The bathroom. It seems like
He had to react quickly. It was his ult that left
Alpha's not being able to get his ult down, which is a problem.
commanding position. MIBR is starting to slip. They've still got stuff to play with in this round. Though. That Viper's pit has been online a ridiculously long time, and with the dimensional drift available, it's going to be Artson trying to take the space, and he's successful.
The fuck?
With the dimensional drift available.
Kayak tried to win condition. Obviously, Viper ult is gonna be a big win condition here, but they've got 4 people ready with Teo ult, Yoru ult, Astro ult. He just needs to Yoru ult right now, and then if they don't plant by time, and then just go for like an Exodia play. Like,
It's going to be Artin trying to take the space, and he's successful.
I don't know what he's doing.
Second going their way, and this time Crashes is not close enough to respond. They are, however, going to try and utilize that Teo ultimate, but to no avail. It's only delay.
Yeah, very strange, uncharacteristic round. It was a very sweet interview.
That is pulling back, but those might be executions. We'll see if they can make that work on their defense.
Shouldn't Cat be on side of the Boaster? I mean, ideally, yeah, but like you can't. It's I don't know how to. Oh, he legged him and he tried to. Oh, okay. Okay. Sure.
All this pistol round could bridge the gap for Fnatic or send MIBR way into the lead. Slow start from Fnatic. Who could have guessed? Their attack side, for those of you that don't know, if you ever watched Valorant, who could have bridged the...
We'll see if they can make that work on their defense.
So fade eye into hookah just to see if it's clear. Like Fnatic basically will always try to use their first cycle of util for something.
All this pistol round could bridge the gap for Fnatic or send MIBR way into the lead. Slow start from Fnatic. Who could have guessed? Their attack side, for those of you that don't know, if you ever watched Valorant before, they really like to play this slow, methodical. For MIBR, I think that's going to be one of the challenges in this series. But I think it also comes with an element of readability. Difficult at times, perhaps, to sit in their positions and put together the pieces of what Fnatic are trying to do, but already we're seeing some utility put out on B. The info goes back in MIBR's favor that no one's actually there, it's taking long control.
So 4 players set up initially, although the one on the other side is Aspas. So if anything, you kind of feel like it's a balanced setup.
So just a little prod on B just to allow them to go up A.
His job is
I did read something about how Fnatic tried to fake a lot in this game, but MIBR never rotated. So that's something to look out for. It's like basically this is a blind fake. It's just like we're gonna put some util here and then we're gonna go A. Oh, but it's another fake. Okay, so they insert crawl into lamps. This is the kind of shit though. This is for if I was to like talk about Boaster's style of calling, like in terms of like these rounds, the biggest things we would struggle with is like he's planned it all out in his head. But the problem is that where the gap is, like this is the big gap. This is a big gap. It's almost like when we would approach these gaps, we wouldn't expect there to be someone here, because we're so in the head of like thinking about how the fake is working and stuff. This is like a very common like with old Fnatic, at least when I was coaching. Like this was a problem we had, was like just keeping our guns out and just knowing that there is a question mark on the map right now, you know. So you see like it's like they're faking again or going back or something. They don't. I think it's like these players don't really understand what they're doing over here, and so they're kind of listening to Boaster calling, and there's just a disconnect.
To try and deny this space being taken, they've had to double back because of how far the Chronicle managed to get to that A site. He made the realization, but now that spike has been dropped.
Being able to communicate in a very simple way, or like the players understanding their role in those moments, or like I think the rule should be, if you're doing something like this, where you're going back to like help the fake a bit more, but you could cancel back, you just have to clear. You have to have your gun out the entire time. You can't be listening to Boaster. You can't be having util out. You have to just have your gun out and trade together, no matter what. How much do you VOD review per day? What do you mean? Do you mean on stream? I just bought Lamsu Maya X Mesh. Should I turn on motion syncing competition mode on? I don't know. I don't even have that mouse. That mouse broke. I'm now on my friend's Gfinity. G Pro, sorry. My friend gave me a G Pro because my other one broke. On your own time off stream. For broadcast, I will watch it games a lot. all the games that I work on, I watch a lot for broadcast. For
MIBR
anything else, I look at the teams who are winning the most in the world or who are good. So like I watch a lot of G2.
there in the pistol. See if they
But I don't
continue to do so. This one
actually
should be an easy follow-up.
I
Big
don't
investment from the defensive side.
I don't know.
They've already lost one player with only one
Do I
pistol
watch
left.
more or less Valorant now? I probably watch more Valorant than I did when I was coach.
Bonus, and there's Shannon gone as well.
And of course, a lot of Paper X scrims right now.
Abyss up next.
And officials.
See how that
See the
plays
Paper
out.
X play doesn't work for them. Honestly, low-key, it's partly because Jing's movement is better than Aspas's. And that eye, I don't think is that the right eye? I don't know.
See how that plays out. Boaster's having a tough run of it, and he was a big factor
Okay,
in them
sorry,
finding
Jing's
success.
movement is the best in the world. Sorry, I shouldn't bring Aspas into that conversation at all.
Still has just that one kill he closed out.
Jing's movement, he wouldn't need to, like, he would just instantly be there, I think.
In their previous series,
I don't know how he moves, like I don't get it.
What we just saw from MIBR. So that was the haunt over the top into the smoke with the flash behind.
How much time do you spend finding art that represents teams? That took me about, that segment took me about 15 minutes. Like I was surprised by how quick I did it.
It starves the opponents of information, but we've already seen that MIBR have done quite well in the first couple of rounds to react to that.
Probably a bit longer. And then I found those paintings, and then I was like, because Dracos worked with us for Valorant, and Dracos was like telling me how to make segments and how you got to script everything and at least like know your ideas and stuff. And so then I looked at what I did and I had all these paintings ready. I was like, fuck's sake, I guess I better start writing some stuff down so I know what I got to say. And I'm very glad I wrote stuff down because I was just gonna improvise, which wouldn't have been very funny.
flying towards the A side, assuming that the hit's elsewhere. But used to the slow approach, ready for it at least. Artson, is he gonna go through this wall?
So I did treat it a little bit more like I would have a broadcast segment.
One of the two weaknesses for MIBR uses the decoy to push them back, and it's a lot of stoppage from MIBR.
Stoppage.
Fnatic down to 20 seconds before they've got boots on the ground. Aspas falls with the wall bang. Doing a ton. Take down Kayak, and he leaves Boaster, Alpha, and Crash. He's all very low. Back.
Sorry, rhythm of the round. Prowler short, group up B. Fully all in on B. The composition allows you to go all in. You have the double drones to just go all in on.
Just go flying towards the A side, assuming that the hit's elsewhere. But used to the slow approach, ready for it at least.
They can't really brute force this wall easily, so they have to wait for it.
Only got the ghost to play with. One of the two weaknesses for MIBR.
I do think there's something interesting Fnatic could do so that they don't just walk up B and have to stand behind a Viper wall. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but they want to split because they got double drones, but then they get all the space and then they get walled off, and then there's going to be 3B every time. So there is a problem with the way they're scaling and bursting.
Keeping Fnatic down to 20 seconds before they've got boots on the ground. Aspas falls with the wall bang. Verno doing a ton of damage. He'll take down Kayak, and he leaves Boaster, Alpha, and Crash. He's all very low. The volley just misses. The plant will be secured still. A huge opportunity. With Alpha regenning his health and dropping Verno, they could clean up the rest of the kills on the site. In fact, Alpha even gets challenged deep, and it ends up in a 1 versus 1. Cortesia alone. And no idea where Alpha's gotten to, thinking maybe that he's fallen back, but Alpha's close on the site, in that corner. Just to his left, crouched down. The read is there!
That's a good read. That is a good read.
MIBR!
That is pretty smart.
Seeming death sentence for Fnatic. As double digits secured by America's.
These moments of brilliance, but I want to give the credit. I just want to say to the call, like, look how delayed or how much they're holding their utility. That haunt ends, they're literally then. That now puts them 5 rounds into the lead.
Trades to start this one, but that's a big weapon for Fnatic. We saw the Guardian in hand for Alpha here, but look at the rest of the pieces. is miles behind. It's been caught by the Prowler. Boaster's got to run for the hills.
Why is he?
Is miles behind.
He's used all his bullets.
Two sheriffs, at least sight control for
Why
Fnatic.
has Boaster got no bullets? He's got.
It's been caught by the Prowler. Boaster's got to run for the hills, and he's trapped in the corner. Veto won't let him escape. The spike secured now. The defensive side can't get there too easily. Crashy's embedded in the sights, being spotted.
Okay, so round.
Let alone potentially a map away from playoffs.
They came here early to Europe.
Furnace buying Odin on bind.
I don't know what they did at that
The
point.
Odin is broken, by the way. It is broken. I don't understand people who say that like it's just there's too many thin walls. It's not because there's just too many thin walls. You shouldn't be allowed to just sit still and spam a 200 bullets through a wall. And then it shouldn't also be a gun that's actually comparable to playing against a Vandal. Like, it's so dumb. The gun is broken for sure.
We were worried.
Yeah.
You know, did they have enough rounds?
Part of the reason why it doesn't feel as broken as it is because not enough people use it, and then not enough people are good with it, if that makes sense. Like, if you only use the gun 1 every 5 rounds as a high amount, you're not going to be getting as good with it as like other guns. Like, there is a little bit of skill to using the gun as like a high skill ceiling, you know what I mean?
But so far, MIBR are the ones with the greater vision.
Like, these guys practice Vandal 10,000 hours a day, and like they don't use the Odin that much to like. I mean, so Fnatic insert Kayak into long B. They get traded. It's so the mid round's so there's so much going on. At 30 seconds they're smoking themselves off hookah. Oh no, it's the Bremer smoke. At 30 seconds they're walking hookah with a fake on short. It's another like quote fake.
There's still the nades, there's still both flashes, there's still a molly, like
I think this is right. Like, you don't need to keep faking. Like, the fakes are basically making it obvious there's people here now. There's a big problem Fnatic are having with against the Viper. I think that they could play. There's stuff against the Viper that they're struggling with, I think.
They have 10 seconds, they have to go through a molly. They're not baiting out any of the utilities. 6 seconds. And if someone swings this, it's all but over. The round is gone. Fnatic can just capitulate.
What was your in-game name? Mini.
They are making this far too easy.
Do you think Brock is the best Odin user? Brock uses it as much as people should on certain maps. There's a Boo, a Mini Boo, and a Coach Mini, but is there a Boo Mini? No, there's no Boo Mini. There's also no Coach Boo. Enzo's good. Enzo's good. I do remember the day. Like, I don't know if I remember this correctly, and I'm sure he'll be annoyed if I took credit for this at all, but I do remember on Ascent him not buying the Odin and me being like, bro, why are we not buying the Odin? And then like I feel like I was part of the reason why Enzo now abuses the Odin, but maybe I'm wrong. Both MIBR and Fnatic played good yesterday. So far, what I'm seeing is MIBR playing fine, and Fnatic not playing very well.
Fnatic's IGL and a 5 versus 4 the Fnatic are facing into.
A minute left. Which means we probably won't see the move for another 50 seconds.
The best from MIBR is still inducing. I would imagine it is because if a team BXX you that many times, I'm pretty sure you gotta kind of problem solve that. And I don't think they did.
Still they survive at the back of the site, and the smoke is going to slow them once again.
Artson's behind them. This TP taken. It's going to at least.
What's going on this round? I've missed.
For MIBR, you can write off that first match. You probably can, but a lot of people will anyways. But they do it twice, and there's no talk of a fluke anymore. This team has leveled up in the downtime. Their reward now, seemingly seconds away. Showstopper on the Boaster, from bad to worse for Fnatic's IGL. The 5 versus 4 the Fnatic are facing into.
A minute left.
Fade out and then Alpha tries to walk out showers. Showed it, yeah. Is it just like fade out, Alpha try and make space showers, and then they could TP if Alpha gets enough space?
50 seconds. Smoke down to the lake. Nade's still available, C's still available, Snakebite still available, Orbital Strike, Molotov, like there's so much to slow Fnatic down.
They're taking too long, man.
Early, they know what they've got available, and 3 players on this side. Nightfall used to clear, Molotov to make things awkward, but still they survive the back of the site, and the smoke is going to slow them once again.
Artson's behind them. This TP taken. It's going to at least send most of the squad out of the way, but Chronicles caught on the rotate. Another man down. Aspis, such an unusual position. He's got the in hand. Fnatic will at least get a plan now because of that pick. A chance for the
Huh?
Alfie
Okay.
caught up close. They're being so patient in clearing these angles. That spam looking deadly.
Did that spam actually do anything?
Again, delivering when he's needed. Alpha popped the ultimate, but I mean, he needs time here.
I mean, Alpha should be using that on the spike, right? Okay. Yeah. Attack side overcooking. The TLDR, Fnatic bind. Defense, solo deaths. Attack, overcooked. Overcooked, number 1. And number 2 was the Viper wall. Playing against Viper wall, they didn't. They got fucked a lot against the Viper. They need to look at that. Who do you think wins today? I think TL Sen, I guess. But is that just my Western brain being like pro-Western or something? I don't know. Subconsciously propaganda myself into picking the Western teams. This is a close game. This is a close game, I think. I don't know what the map Veto will be like. EDG might pick Abyss again. Which I think Team Liquid won't be too annoyed about, but Team Liquid did just play their old Abyss, which used to be good. But, I don't know. Does Bosa micromanage the team, or does he let them do their own thing? Neither. They have macro in which they know what to do. Like, it'd be really interesting for me to one day maybe go back onto an old Fnatic VOD and show you how much of the game is being played with 0 individual decision making, and it's all just scripted. Like a lot of when I was watching the other day, like the Leo VOD, the problem I had watching the Leo VOD buck was like Leo wasn't making any macro decision that wasn't something we had pre-planned or pre-agreed on. Leo was just doing the plans very, very well. And there's instances where he would do stuff against the plan that is very strong, but most of the time it was like just planned stuff. So it wasn't even Boaster, like on defense specifically, it wasn't Boaster calling almost anything. It was just like pre-planned stuff. Boaster on attack side is the best micro IGL in the world, and I don't think it's close. Like when the macro is like done, or we're in positions in which we want to then finish rounds, or on late round situations, Boaster is like really good at microing. But you don't start the round by microing players. That's not how Valorant works. So you're saying it was you? Yeah, it's all about me at the end of the day. No, it's like a combination of me, the other coaches, and Boaster. A lot of Boaster's value is as a coach to some degree. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna try and down this protein shake, and I'm not gonna do it in front of you because it would look disgusting. But I'll be right back. 1 second. You're paid to watch a boxing match between me and Sliggy. Bro, Sliggy weighs like Sliggy's like 5 inches taller than me, 4 inches taller than me, and probably weighs like 30% more than I do. I know he can't throw a punch though. That's my only advantage, is I know that guy can't fight. And I don't think he's got the anger in him. I don't think he's got that anger. I think I got that hidden anger. And then I feel like I'm fully delusional. I can't fight, no, not at all. But I'm fully delusional that because I've watched a lot of UFC, that I feel like for some reason that means that I'll be better, but I won't be. I'm not older than Sliggy. Bro, Sliggy's so old, man. That's another advantage. Age. I'm a fucking young whippersnapper compared to that old man. Where's this fucking... Established 1989, man. This guy's fucking old. Bro, it might be doable. It might be doable. This guy's like Mike Tyson old. Who's the youngest coach in VCT? How old's that Edward Gaming guy? Muggle. Wikipedia. That guy looked pretty young. Ooh, mysterious. There's no age. There is no age. Very mysterious, guys. Listen to this prick. What? Ain't $30 a tad bit expensive for a hoodie? No, it's a streamer hoodie. Like, I don't really know what you guys want. I also, like, I'm whenever people say this about merch, I'm really confused. When people say, oh, all it's got on it is like one thing, You guys, like, the people who say that, I'm always like, you losers probably want to wear like full graphic fucking hoodies or something. Like, you ain't looking good with a full graphic hoodie. Unless it's like really cool or like really good. Like, you guys, you're not. I've seen that meme where it's like people who, like, you know those t-shirts that have like a really cool design on the back? And people are like, oh, I wish it was on the front. It's like, no, you wouldn't. No, that's not how it works. You got this full fucking thing on your front looking like a loser. I think that's why 100 Thieves stuff is really good, because like they have just well-designed stuff that's like at times pretty simple, you know what I mean? When people complain about like the not graphic stuff on the front, all I see in my head is someone at Comic-Con wearing like an Iron Man t-shirt, you know what I mean? And I just think this guy's a nerd, you know? Like, all I see is like full Iron Man, like, or Spider-Man or something. I'm like, that's what you guys want, is it? Like a full Spider-Man t-shirt, you know what I mean? I think that yeah, it's not that expensive for a streamer merch. It's just streamer merch. Like, it's custom stuff for a streamer. I don't know what you want. If it was expensive, I'd be flaming Sliggy, like, hard, you know what I mean? The wolf t-shirt. Oh yeah, wolf graphic tees. This is the people who say that, oh, we need the cool design on the front. It's just all this shit. But for some reason, that on the back of a shirt, I actually think is like almost okay. It's like Masters Tokyo Valorant T. What one is it? I have one with like yeah, like, this to me is better on the back than it is on the front, if you know what I mean? Like, it's not cool enough to be on the front, but it's just a bit of texture to be on the back or something. I have another one of these, but I can't remember what it was. Right, anyway, let's go to VOD. Actually, am I gonna start looking at 100 Thieves merch? One sec. Before we go into the... I do think 100 Thieves merch looks pretty good, from what I remember. To me, like, this is a bit much for the front, but I get it. This is pretty bad. Cowboy shit. They got so much shit, man. That's kind of cute, like a Powerpuff Girl vibe. Yeah. So, like, nothing here is like over the top outrageous to me. This stuff is outrageous. These trousers are quite cool. Like, this is just really well designed, right? But simple. To me, like, I think people probably, like, the nerds probably complain about this, and yet to me this looks very, very nice. Like, just good.
This squad comes in as an organization not winning a game on the global stage.
Look at the PRX merch. I actually don't know. I should probably ask them to give me merch, right? Surely that's within my wheelhouse. The PaperX logo is clean. The color of the shirt's quite nice, actually. It's a bit mental to be this blue, but... I mean, they're charging 36 for a hoodie with PaperX on it. Like, it's no... I do like it, though. Like, I ain't complaining. It's gotta be a good hoodie, though. I should get them. I should be rinsing them for the merch, shouldn't I? What am I doing? Why am I working for a team and not just begging for merch? Payrex should sign me. Don't need this one, guys. Ready signed, don't I? Don't need that one. Okay, yeah, in there too. I actually need a mouse mat. I wonder if that mouse mat's any good. Considering how good their graphic designers are, they could probably do more merch. You know what I mean? They do. I do like the windbreaker actually. That's very nice. Because it's just the where's the pink? I thought there was slightly more, but like just subtle bits of pink everywhere is quite nice. Yeah, the strings are pink. It's very nice. I think they could have photographed this slightly better. Yeah.
When they arrived at Champions, but now to set the record.
What's your prediction for Liquid EDG Veto? One sec. We gotta do important things now. Team Liquid EDG Veto. Let me let's watch me try and do a veto in real time. Get rid of this one. Team Liquid. Recent veto is here. EDG recent veto here. TL ban Haven. EDG. EDG is gonna ban Lotus no matter what. Is that what they do? Pardon me. They should ban bind, shouldn't they? If they don't have a, I don't know if they have a perma. Ascent's not bad to ban either, though. I could see them banning Ascent. Oh, actually, they need to ban Lotus if they're banning it last series. Right? Don't they just ban Lotus again? If they banned it versus NRG, they probably just ban it here, probably. They probably shouldn't ban Lotus, but this is the thing. Do they pick? They probably just pick Abyss, don't they? Or Sunset. Any EDG any good at any maps? TL picking bind is not the best approach either against a team that only wins bind. I can't figure out this veto. They should ban Lotus. Is it going to be one of those vetoes in which EDG would have prepped more? Like, I think EDG would have gone away and just picked a random map to play today, and we don't know what it is. I don't think it's going to be like based on old vetoes. You know what I mean? You know what? Sometimes the map pool is like just a surprise because neither team is like, well, EDG don't look particularly amazing anywhere. I think it's going to be one of those, to be honest with you. Which comp will you release for Sunset and Coach Potatoes? We've already done the PaperX comp back in the day. No, but not very. There's not many teams who are good at Sunset, so it's like kind of difficult, to be honest with you, to copy a Sunset. I think right now it'd be kind of cool for Coach Potatoes to do a DRX comp, in my opinion. Do a DRX would be good, or I think Fnatic's Abyss for their attack side would be quite fun. And then we can add stuff for the defense that makes them not so shaky there. Genji for Sunset. I think I've watched it. No, I haven't watched this. No. I think for Sunset T1 were pretty good at Sunset, weren't they? But then Heretics did just beat them. But it's not that interesting, honestly. It's not very interesting. But we'll figure out. I might we might just avoid Sunset, but
Straight 4-0 in opening maps.
do away to Eurocomp. I mean, I wouldn't do it for Sunset. I prefer doing teams in which they've already showed enough of a playbook we could just steal, and then people have a reference point for, if that makes sense.
Locking themselves into playoffs. That is
I prefer not to be too original about stuff, so that I don't have to do as much work, and I could just be like, oh, this isn't that. Like, some of the stuff I copy isn't amazing, but it's, like, good enough for some Premier teams to do, if that makes sense.
This is a team you cannot count out until the last round is struck.
Like, it's not going to win you champs, but
They could send
the team might finish top 4 still or something, you know what I mean?
and the team that they could send the China #1 and the team that finished second at the previous international event into the lower bracket. A great start already. Alpha to be the anchor of the site. Instead, Aspas is
I kind of am underselling the pitch a little bit there. Okay, well, Fnatic had one person playing B, and he died in the first 2 seconds of the round. Another individual mistake from Fnatic, just constantly giving away picks this game. Who do I quit? I'm helping PaperX right now. I used to coach Fnatic, yeah. I coached Fnatic for 4 years.
I feel like basically just stealing the exact more global utility. But for MIBR being on that attack side, they're quite happy to just contact into things, and when you have a tip of the spear very towards getting off in 20s.
So the thing I'm looking out for here is Fnatic. Oh, 225. Fnatic, the last time I watched them play, played for retake every single round because they weren't in positions to hold sides. And they got away with retaking against RRQ in a way that I don't think they should have been able to. So I want to see in this VOD, like, how do they get they get the minimum amount of rounds that they should for a defense, I think, on Abyss. And I'm wondering how they get them. I still think there's probably going to be problems with their defense. So you see what Elevated said? What about retakes on Abyss? No. What would you say is Fnatic's biggest weakness right now? In this series, it's been individual deaths, solo deaths. How does it feel working with a new team after working in the same system for so long? It's actually really, really fun because it's like, in terms of like, on a scale, like I'd say Fnatic are like very down one extreme of the scale and PaperX are down one extreme of the scale. And so it's very fun to work with a team that operates very differently. It's also very, very useful for both of us, I think, the fact that we come from different places. Because it means that I can just be myself. Like, me just being myself is enough for them to, like, get value from me, if that makes sense. Like, I don't need to try too hard when I work with them because, like, anything I say comes from a point of view that's very different from what they're used to. And so I don't need to dig too deep. Like, they have their identity. Like, it's 2 things. It's like, I can just say things that are, like, things I want to say. And it's kind of new to them, some of the things I'm saying. And then on the other side, it's also the fact that they have such a strong identity that it's not my job to, like, change that at all. And so I just get to, like, do the important things that I think are important from my ideas and my way of seeing Valorant. Like, I don't need to dig too deep on some of that stuff. Like, I don't want to try and, like, scare them away from their own playstyle and their own strengths, if that makes sense. So in some respects, I get to be a better coach than I've ever been because I don't have to, like, really force anything, if that makes sense. I don't have to, like, I don't have to, like, dictate in the same ways I used to,
Credits to spare, right? This is what we were
if that
talking
makes
about in the
sense.
previous map, that you'll see this so often. And I think on a map like Abyss, it's even more relevant with so much space. You need those weapons to challenge on range. MIBR picking up the pace.
If the question is good, I'll answer it. If the question is just like, how do I get better in ranked, I'm going to say go to Discord.
The plant being secured. Just a moment. There it is.
Okay.
They need towards the A site, and they have pushed Fnatic.
So
Strong as their opponent.
I think this is the problem with not playing Yoru to some degree is now they play strong B and the opponent goes A and they got zero chance of doing anything. Alpha ends up getting a kill, so I guess I'm wrong, but it's nothing to do with this, why he gets the kill, right?
Pushed Fnatic well and truly off of the site. The plant being secured. Just a moment. There it is. They need
Oh, it's because Artsin literally walks up a smoke by himself.
just a moment.
Okay, that's not, yeah.
Advantage and they found it.
Yeah, Althea not wanting to overface. He was within the site initially, but falling back for the retake. A very passive position from Shenum. All the way back towards the spawn, just setting up utility. Cortesia, however, a much more aggressive angle. He's looking to play contact, slow thrown through his supply.
Some nice Satura.
Gives that early trade back. A one-man advantage, but look at where the remaining two are. They're sat all the way back. They've got so many angles left to clear, and the spams might just be enough. A solid start already. As Chronicle goes down, grab bar available. There it is, pulling them out of position. They need to push. They need to fight these players because that spike is already ticking all the way. Somebody needs to be on it. And now the spam going through. I don't even know if there's enough time anyway. It won't matter.
Very nice from MIBR. But again, once again, like, there are problems with Fnatic's defense. Like, they're never in a position to... Maybe it's the comp. How would I play this comp? Okay. I think I know what I would do.
MIBR's map pick. Do not expect them to let their foot off the gas.
I'm not gonna say.
I love that post plant as well. Like, you have the close contact so that even once
Eco round, we're skipping.
with the shots. High expectations.
They're too passive. The TLDR is Fnatic are too passive.
It's not like the regional performance was not off the
Forward trap plays, you could do some trap plays, that's for sure. Yeah, that would be part of the solution, I think, of what I'm kind of thinking about. This is nice. You get some aggression now, some mid-round aggression. It's a bit frustrating that it's an Astra, but I guess it's not really. There's not really many agents in there here that are good at pushing, apart from Waylay. And even then, Waylay's not the best at going super deep. The Saturate nice though. The Saturate is such a good ability. This is a very nice round for Fnatic. This is the kind of shit that I was kind of implying they needed to be doing a bit more on Abyss. I think they look their worst when they're just sat back doing nothing.
Otherwise, we could be seeing a very quick series. That's not the expectation.
If FNC was molding, Fnatic's really said people in matchmaking do it better. That's surprising. Usually, Fnatic are good at retaking.
The position of Artsin. He's going to force the fight, but Althea will win it. A 2v5. The only thing that genuinely terrifies me here is that Odin. Just sat in the back line with the opportunity to spam. If Veto can dodge those shots, there's a shot.
Really?
Already finds the first. Aftershock goes through a second for Veto.
if FNS means, I don't think FNS is gonna, like, I don't think FNS has any grounds to stand on if he's talking about the retake of like the space here and here. Like he's smart enough to know that Fnatic are one of the best in the world at like doing this part and this part. This part of the retake is abysmal, and someone in matchmaking could do it better. I agree with them. If we're talking about this part of the retake, this is terrible. I'm sure if we asked anyone from Fnatic themselves, they would say this is embarrassing. A 5v2. Solo death, solo death, solo death.
He's looking to do it all with the Odin. Only 2 remain. Veto still on the corner, finally shut down.
Like that was terrible, and they it doesn't look like they lost, but they did. Like they've like losing these 3 and with their economy, like this is terrible. To give Fnatic credit, the start of the round was beautiful. Like pushing out at the start of the round, nice. Oof. Ooh, I like this too. It's unfortunate, and there's a huge gap at middle now. Good jump spot. That surprises me. Crash is insta droning that. I guess it's like it's almost like he's using the drone like a duelist would use like a piece of util. Just make sure he's safe and can reposition. It's nice by Crashes. He genuinely played this like a duelist in all the right ways. This is quite nice too. Leaving Alpha up like in a weird spot. Okay, so these 2 rounds have been, I think, a lot better from Fnatic.
With an Odin, I was about to say it's not something I ever expected or wanted to see. You got a 2v2 on either side. I like the fact that Fnatic are showing this pace. I think this was missing when it came to the previous.
Who is Crum blasting? If that was Boaster, I'd make a joke, but it's not. It's Kron. I'll be respectful.
Online. I'm looking at Artson in particular. This opens up the play towards the A site. You can get rid of those trips, and that's exactly what MIBR are going for.
Nice little strat here from MIBR. Oh, and that little part. This is a beautiful strat from MIBR. So the KO's the entry, meaning that it doesn't matter if he dies, and then Aspas is going to hide behind that Astral Wall and take a timing through. He didn't really hide, but... Very well thought out ult round from MIBR. You have to give them credit for this. There's no point of delaying this. There's no point of both using suck. Kron's so far away that they're not gonna. There's no difference. Like they're not changing anything in their post plant because they got delayed here.
I'm already looking back at Veto, finding out that there's 3 players in that defender position.
Everyone here has seen the people, even though they've won, talking about Boaster. Yeah, this is something I was gonna say. It's like, what's really annoying for me is I wish that people could just accept that Boaster was one of the most impactful players on the planet, so that I can flame him for when he's playing shit. But I'm not allowed to flame him for being shit because everyone else genuinely believes it. And so I can't say anything. Like, it's really annoying. Like, to be British and have your friend play and sometimes have bad games. Like, I'm desperately wanting to flame, but I can't because the community is just full of idiots. Thank you, Ninja. Welcome, Predacious.
The dash through and the information, but Artson just ignores it. That one was free, and he goes for a little more. Ace fire, 3 players.
Yeah, so the nice ult round,
The dash through and the
and then
information up.
Artson is shooting here.
That one was really goes for a little more. Nowhere.
Of this push field.
That's the biggest threat, and I think a couple of rounds on the board for Fnatic. That might have been
Like the very honest thing, and I think Bosa would agree, is that like Bosa sometimes has games in which his performance is probably not like consistently acceptable at times. Like if you're gonna drop, you know, a -20 map or something like that, you know, he knows that if he did that every game, it's not good enough. But like, I think that, and I think that should be pointed out and criticized, but it's just like, how many times does his teams need to be successful for people to realize that maybe it isn't, there is something happening? And then people would just point at the players and be like, oh yeah, but Alpha or Chronicle. And it's like, how many teams have had good players that don't succeed? Like, let's be real.
enough in their last series, but it's a very different looking.
Who's the type of person to become an IGO?
They're getting aggressive on
Someone who
Has refract online. He can't stick around too long, and the Cloudburst fight just enough for Aspis that he doesn't have to take that fight.
hardworking people who want to watch the game a lot
Through as well. It's very nicely
usually become
played, the
IGOs.
reaction from the attacking side. And again, this default that they're playing, they have taken a lot of space towards the B site.
Usually people who emphasize decision making over
Capitalize on that space.
mechanics.
But the spike has been left for 30 seconds or so as they wait for a reaction. Fnatic realizing we've lost B. Where do we push? Where do we try to take that space back? And in fact, they're comfortable just completely conceding it.
Yeah, well, they're jump spotting, but
Why no Wele is checking left and right when dashing? I don't know.
I'm not sure they do. It's a check. This will be the big fight of the round, and while Boaster's already managed to win it, even still, the site has been completely cleared by Artson, so he got them the information. I'm looking at that convergence path, though. Immediately thrown through, but 3 players...
Sorry, I didn't actually catch this round at all. Did they go for the Wele dash on middle? Okay, so
Big fight of the round. I'm not sure they do. It's a
they never go for any activity towards pressuring flanks ever.
check.
They do. Oh, they do have Wele and Astro ult, so that's fair.
Be the big fight of the round, while Boaster's already managed to win it. He's still
Thank you very much, Hijacky.
completely cleared by
Hope you're
Artson,
well.
so he got them the information. I'm
Do I
looking
like
at that
the Wele breach? I think if you're gonna play Wele solo, you need the breach. I think.
players have dodged it. There's already
That's a massive connection. The trench is dug now for MIBR.
Did that Wele ult do anything?
got them the information. I'm looking at that convergence path, though. Immediately thrown through.
Oh, it kind of does, I guess. But they're not ready to use it.
But 3 players have dodged it. There's already
That's a massive connection. The trench is
Did it go in before the Astro ult?
MIBR
What?
can rain down from Fnatic as they look to close in the space. They're being picked up.
Very strange.
Cosmic Divide, and they have saved
I think they wanted to waste. They wanted to wait for the Astro ult
there for the double.
so they get full value from it. But I think it was a bit.
Save can be called into play, but he's going
Are you
for it.
Fnatic coach? I used to be.
Out and eventually dealt with.
If people actually watch the game, they would.
Fnatic stunner on their way through. It's a 6-2 score.
Hey, Verno, this is the champion stage, not your rank games. Like, bro's just dipping in and out. And the Cosmic Divide
See,
control.
for most of stuff, I'm not going to accept that him dropping guns and playing with shit guns
Yeah, again, you see the
is a valid excuse. Like, I don't think that's a valid. I think that's copium.
But in those post plants, MIBR have been devastating. Their synergy, like we mentioned, this team is like a lot of young
Like, of course, like that's one very small aspect, but it's a small aspect. It's not the real aspect.
Look at this squad and how to pick yeah.
That you really can't. They do it to MIBR. Maybe they've obviously got a taste for it now.
Oh, thank God.
He had the refract.
Yeah. I've seen Nats do it. That
What do you
makes
think of
sense.
Verno's cooling so far?
Let me stick
It's impossible to know how well someone's cooling when most of these rounds are XX. Like, on it's when you're working with an IGL like Verno, the coach is probably doing a lot of work to try and make sure that, like with NRG, like with Ethan, like the way they do attack side calling is very, it's not loose. It's not. I don't understand it. It's difficult to know where the impact is from the cooling versus the structure. Kind of like scripts, yeah. Kind of. It's just protocols and.
On the other side of things, it's been a stellar performance across the board. A slow walk up again. Bear in mind, this is Artsim with the spike.
He's going through that smoke as well. Crazy aggressive as he links up with Aspis on site. The take underway, but still players sticking around, especially with weaker weapons. They don't have to be as respectful of this. Instead, using those cages to get a little bit closer. And Boasters managed to overwhelm.
See, like, I guess what I'm trying to say with Fnatic's defense is maybe sometimes they should just do dumb shit like this. With, like, they're doing it because they're low buy, but they never do this dumb shit with guns. And I think that's probably, to some degree, my fault from back in the day. But I think if I was head coaching a team nowadays, I would try and add a bit of like chaos at times. Add some paper wrecks sometimes. Usually that would naturally come from alpha just being alpha. But I think it's more than that. That's the paper X rubbing off on you. A little bit. It's not just paper X. It's that sideshow thing that Sideshow was talking about a little bit. Like, both the teams that won trophies this year were teams that don't play for retake, basically. I'd still think they're wrong, but I think that there is an element of being able to do a bit of both. This defense has been a lot better from Fnatic than before. To give them credit, they have become more active on the map.
Completely blindsided there. I mean, you're walking up with knife out. Clearly not expecting that level of aggression to come out, and this is again one of those factors of the waylay and using it correctly. The early control, minimal risk with the ability to just dip on out of there. For almost anyone else standing in that position is a one and done.
Compositionally, some of these pushes, once teams have VODs on them, it's going to be harder to do, but... Oh my god. That guy could Aspas is, by the way. He knows Kayak's stuck in that corner and goes for it, and he's able to bait out all this util. It's unlucky to not get that kill, honestly, because that looked close. This is the kind of shit that I think that teams are so bad at. How many teams in the world right now, like in Fnatic's head, they think there's a lot of people here. How many teams would have a player walk out, or like a player who's just like fighting middle right now in one of these spots? The answer is a lot, like most of them. And yet Fnatic are just cool to let that person walk into a tiny choke point and then just punish them. Like, I hate the emphasis on defense side middle. It's so pointless. Like, just playing these fucking nerdy connector places is so much better, in my opinion. And now they're quick enough to still go back and, like, help B.
One of the criticisms even their own coach had from the last map was they weren't playing together. That one was a lot better, and now the full force revealed. Should be a fairly easy kill from Alfia, and it will be. Artsim needs another big play. It's not going to happen. Aspas needs an ace.
The 140 tag is cruel. Two knives for Kayak, and it's one straight to the head of Alpha.
So far, MIBR is the better NA team. I don't know about that. I think to say they're better than G2 still maybe cap. I think G2 are in a good, should be in a good spot to now, like, just be the team that people underrate.
You start to see that sort of interplay and synergy that we expect from this squad. An early fight from Kayak, and then it's the bait from Boaster to give Alpha yet.
MIBR do look a lot better. MIBR do look a lot better. Like, they look like they...
We don't know how.
It's just that effect of, like... My feeling on it is that, like, they probably had bad internal stuff going on. Probably pretty poor vibes. And then you make it to champions, you're like, whoa, we're fucking champions. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, not get on? We're gonna be, like, assholes?
Called by MIBR. Seeing
That's my read. I don't know if that's true, but it just feels like something was off vibes vibes wise. Like, the teams that always win champs are usually teams that are, like, not
got ripped to shreds.
the most, like,
Cortezia was just
I don't know.
playing super passive in mid.
It's not the team you expect, kind of thing.
Same thing here in the buy round. Shock up and over. Is that going to get? No, nothing. It's the right side.
I think that was for default. That's where they want to plant. So just making sure there isn't a kill trip on that side. Instead, it's on the other.
Yeah, MIBR, for example. Yeah.
With anybody there, it will slow them down, but getting a pick from this position is very difficult. So that post
There's usually an element of dysfunction in a champs winning team. Hey, Doma. The retakes on B have not been very good. Because it's Fnatic are conceding this control and this control. Like, they have nothing. They're almost having to, like, retake this. It's almost like step 1, step 2, step 3. And usually it would just be like step 1, step 2, if that makes sense. They're like full retake every time. Wait. That spam is kind of... It's a very good counter to Fnatic, who, again, don't control.
So much utility to work with, but they can't use it just yet. The spam from Verno working wonders, but Aspas has gone down. He's been a big player in these moments, but so is Cortezia. Bringing the numbers back into their favor. MIBR, they've even got Artson on a pistol. He's the man on site trying to buy them some time, run that clock down, but Cortezia falls. The Gravwell having to be used early on, but the time ticking now, the pressure mounting for Fnatic as Genocide won the spray!
Who's currently, I think,
If only Pixel watches Valorant and it is the Odin being used like this, the CS fans are not going to be happy. And they have every right to not be happy. Because it shouldn't be in the game. This gun should not be in the game in this state. It is not acceptable. You're telling me that this is acceptable? A gun that can already shoot through walls and 100 bullets is allowed to just do that as well? It's... You telling me that looked much different than a Phantom or a Vandal?
12 and 5 versus Fnatic, while using an Odin on the attack side. Find me another player with all of those characteristics. I can tell you now.
I still think we should do an undercover operation, and all the Valorant people should go into the Oni Pixel chat and do like an over-the-top impression of the CS fans. So we make the CS fans look even more stupid about Valorant than they already do. Like with the Odin, like just like spam. Like we need to. I'm not funny enough to think of in the moment how we do it, but we have to go exaggerated mode. Like anytime the Odin gets used, we just like whine.
The only man above him is, well,
I love Counter-Strike. Like I love Counter-Strike. But
one of the people he's doing it to is the other.
Counter-Strike doesn't love us. You know?
1 round left to play for. The stage is set.
It's very like if I was genuinely a CS coach, I think I'd still try and get into Valorant. Like as understanding FPS in general, I think it's worth understanding both games to some degree. There are definitely concepts you could probably apply from Valorant to CS and vice versa, you know. Like the amount of like fucking concepts I've taken from Counter-Strike to apply to Valorant is obviously very high. It might just be general TAC FPS things though that are just, you know. But I'm sure you could do the same in reverse at this point.
Odin enjoy it. I just enjoy it with that.
The games are extremely similar.
Incredibly one-sided.
Extremely
In the
similar.
second half, it was even more so for MIBR.
I think that because people see abilities, they think it's different.
Both their series, a statement start to their champions run, to their first run of any kind at an international event, at a global event for this organization.
Enemy spotted. They've already caught the early.
Hey Minnie, I'm a bit new. 5v5 retake has never been that good on Abyss statistically. Do you think that this comp is meant to be make it easier, more favorable? Can I ask? 5v5 retake probably has never been great statistically, but retake percentages, retake data should always be lower than average round data anyway, right? Because the point, actually, I guess what I'm asking is, how much worse is it than an average round on defense? Like, Abyss defense is already in a fucking awful percentage. 35% win rate, 5v5 on Abyss. What is the defense win rate? Isn't the defense win rate gonna be, like, pretty low anyway? So it's, like, not that big a thing. The other thing is like, how many teams in the world... how many teams in the world know how to play a 5v5 retake? It's like, I don't know. I do think that there is something wrong with being inconsistently in 5v5 retakes on this map, for sure. But I'd rather be in a 5v5 retake than a 4v5 retake.
Smoke has deterred their initial push. That means there's going to be so many players here. Wonderful entry, though, from Kayak. A huge initial fight that took down the defender. The spams coming through. Deterred their...
Like, Fnatic would play this as a 5v5 retake right now. Probably. Whereas MIBR play it as a 4v5 retake.
So many players here. Wonderful entry, though, from Kayak. A huge initial fight that took down the defender. The spams coming through. Kayak already with the second of the round. A third even. Taking over individually. This is what Fnatic were missing, especially in that last map. But with 3 already in the pistol, a few low HP players, but MIBR, well, the M stands for miracle.
Wait, what the fuck? You had Rafa helping you with You have Rafa helping you with Valorant, and you guys aren't winning every fucking trophy in the world? What's going on? This guy has the best esports player of all time helping his team, and they don't win everything. What's like, that's...
This would be something else entirely. As we said, Kayak in the previous round, or previous half, he had that.
This is the thing though, like, I think I said it the other day, it's like, knowing other games probably is helpful. Like, I'm not the best at Quake, but I'm good enough to know how all the concepts work of Quake. So I do wonder, is there anything from Quake I've applied? In general, I think Rafa's just a very good human at knowing how to get good at things. So it probably is more on that side of things he'd be useful. Like, I remember him talking about Overwatch and the ways he tried to apply certain theories to Overwatch, which was interesting.
Entirely, perhaps, split us to 7-7. Kayak's going out for more. Building those orbs early on, even going down isn't that bad. He's halfway to having the ultimate already.
But I don't know if any Quake concepts apply to Valorant.
Pretty damn clean for Fnatic. A much needed pistol round.
There's something about the Quake is a game where you're in control and out of control materially in the game.
8-0 attack half. We are going to be looking at MIBR. Now say you pick this map.
The only time
Hope that Fnatic assume
he does performance coaching, that makes sense.
MIBR will have rotated. They'll be stacked.
Rafa would be pretty good on that side of things. His general approach and mentality towards stuff is pretty good. I think the irony here though is that he's a massive rager. Like when you watch him stream solo queue, he can get very fucking angry very quickly. So I don't know how he like. I don't know how he
Cortezi is miles away.
recognizes that as part of the performance coach thing.
They'll claim an orb. I imagine unless... Yeah.
You know how like Valorant players complain about PCs and stuff. Like Rafa will, like for Quake, like if he noticed like a millisecond lag, like he will be whining about it. You know what I mean?
Round with Boaster on the operator. That's
Which I think is probably detrimental to your performance, but.
quite a big bonus.
A wise man once said, that's how daddy plays. So let's see what he's got in the locker.
Recon A main.
I mean, it's the one player on low credits, right?
I mean, it's just gonna be condition A main go to B hit every time, right? So we're gonna map out what their B hit actually is. We're gonna map it out. And then chat, you're gonna do the job of trying to beat MIBR, okay? I'm not gonna do this. You guys, I'm gonna coach you. This is what coaching is, apparently. It's not the kind of coaching that I usually do. Usually I just tell people what to do. But being a good coach apparently is you gotta like guide people. So one sec. Let me mapping it out. Smoke heaven.
Send Crashy's back.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Those spams doing quite a bit of damage. Send Crashy's back.
I can't see exactly where that stun is, but I think it's here. Wheelie dash. One sec. Sorry.
Bit of damage. Send Crashy's back. Being able to, it's the one player on
They didn't wait for the second cycle recon.
The left side and then
That's okay.
well at the back. There's not really a safe space.
The exec looks like this.
choice at this point. The space in the end.
So step one, which I can't be bothered to do, is you'll see the flash and the drone together. After that, we then see the cross with the Waylay the breach. Breach done, grav well, smoke. Fucking cunts, man. I fucking hate you guys. I hate you guys. If I ever catch any of you do that, I will fight you in real life. One sec. Where's the fucking... Because we're not allowed to do it on Valor Plant, because I think you guys have been stupid. This is the exec. What is... How do we want to play against this? What are some good counters to play against this? Three-man push mid. Idea one. How do I draw a box that's like fucking filled in? Chat is MIBR coach. How to play against Fnatic BXX. Suggestion 1 is 3-man push mid. Valid. Valid idea. This is valid. We don't have a waylay. We're not allowed to play waylay. We have a jet. Wait. Mid site smoke. Site hold. Mid site smoke. What is this? Mid site smoke. Top site / top site Gen G smoke to play in. I think fairly valid. Can I copy this? Paint is the worst program of all time, isn't it? Where's the fucking fill? Okay, 3-man mid push. I like the 3-man mid push. I think that's very direct. Anything else? Flood. Flood site off tap. But you don't have Teo missiles. How are you doing that? Your comp doesn't have the best flood. Flood site with Cypher cages, maybe? B main aggro. Yep, could work. B main aggro. Stun can't stun close left and in front of site, so you can cage wall in front of it. So a lot of your site holds, so some of the site hold solutions you guys are saying so like I think that you guys are recognizing something kind of cool here. So part of your solution is like we have KO and Sova flash plus recon. So you're like, I don't know if we're gonna get a good recon flash combo on this site, but I think that there's something valid in saying that we can flash and fight to some degree. Realistically, goal should be to force out Wele Rico because they don't have anyone else who is realistically scout. I think there's something about the idea of just like, you shut down this drone, you smoke here, and then like you can just flood in and just isolate the Wele. And then what they're gonna do after that? They've got no util left anymore. You can't play this side, really. You could play here though. I think. But they're gonna saturate here. You know they're gonna saturate here. Do you have any ults? No. You're not allowed to use ults. Yeah. So we've come up with some ideas. I'm not gonna say which ones I think these are all valid tier 1 solutions. I don't think they're all equally as good. I think there's probably other stuff we could do, but valid solutions. You can do the smoke on the side where you get you can hide in, even if you get stunned. If you buy shorty, etc., you have a kill on melee. You think you could just smoke this side and then you kill the whaler with a judge? Congratulations, chat. We've just taught PaperX how to beat Fnatic in lower in finals on the piss last map. If I'd be very surprised if PaperX didn't have solutions for this already. On the jump up. Oh, the weird smoke like here. You mean? Where you can like walk up the stairs. On, off the map. This or this? That's what I'm thinking you're saying. I called this Mario. Where you can sit on site. I'm so confused. So confused. On top of Mario, close to site. Yeah, so I said here, and you're saying here, right? Is that what you said? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Oh, here, and then you sit in it here. Okay. You're still, you might get fucked though, but. Okay, let's see what do, we're not gonna answer the question, what does, okay, one sec. So we're now going to be looking at what do MIBR actually do? Let's see. What's their solutions? So we give them a round buffer. We're going to be quite brutal. We're only going to give them one round buffer. So this round doesn't count.
Can they break back in on the retake? Already a pop flash that doesn't quite catch, but it's going to be Artson getting ready to potentially swing through this.
This round was close from what I remember.
Trying to delay them. They're just being held back, and somehow the package is dodging all the bullets. They can't expect anybody to be here, but they've been able to find the early trades. The stun was decent, but it doesn't matter. But now
Bosa wins a 2v1 with the ult.
in that backline again with the operator, against a man who is a master of that gun. But that time is ticking desperately low. And for now,
great reactions from MIBR.
Aspas' shots here are beautiful.
Aspas up top, taking the fights deep, and as the push comes around toward a cover deeper.
Bosa just won a 1v2 clutch versus Aspas.
With an op.
Yeah, it feels like someone moved a chair. Just for that.
Eco round, we don't care. Eco round, don't care. I hope this isn't going to question. What stops a player like Jet from priming dash and tanking the Astra pool to take a fight on Whaler? Honestly, that's a smart idea, I think. No, what's stopping you is the stun is stopping you. The stun stops you. I like the idea though. I like the idea. It reminds me, I think I've used this example before, but in StarCraft there's this famous example where I was watching a game once, and it was a Korean versus a Western player, and the Korean player was like this really good player, and someone on Reddit at that time in StarCraft, you could have your rank symbol next to your name, and someone with the rank symbol of like silver like one of the lowest ranks, asked why the Western player wasn't building a certain building to counter this player, this like Korean player. And he got like 200 downvotes, and everyone replied saying, "You're an idiot, silver player. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, of course, blah, 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 blah." And then in the next game, the Western player built that building to stop the rush, and he won the game. And then it became like a Hall of Fame comment because people were like, "Well, like that's actually correct." And so I do like having a community. Like, it would be nice to foster a community in which like we can make it a bit like that, where it's like Twitch chat, like no idea is like terrible. Like if we're thinking critically, it doesn't matter if you're like random Twitch chatter or you're silver or something. Like thinking logically is still thinking logically.
Considering I would say like 8 or 9 rounds in, I think he was 2 and 7. Yep. That's a really big resurgence.
What about VLR? What I mean is like strategic problem solving isn't like the most the smartest people. I think I've read studies about like there's people who are like the best at what they do or the smartest at what they do is usually people who or at least like in the creative fields are people who are happy to take on more different solutions to problems and aren't so narrow-minded. Like I'm pretty narrow-minded about some stuff, and it probably hinders me. But I think that the people who are most successful are the people who are able to consider a wider range of solutions to problems. Sometimes those solutions might be pretty stupid, and likely if we were to ask loads of silver players solutions to problems, they might come up with some stupid stuff. But I think to instantly disregard something because someone is like coming from a newer position or a different position shouldn't be the case, if that makes sense.
After the schooling that they gave Fnatic in map number 1, certainly feels like they've woken the beast. It feels like they've woken the beast.
Okay, so to be fair to Fnatic, to be fair to MIBR, Fnatic do a little bait. So I don't know if this is going to become a common theme, but like Fnatic using their ults towards A because of the kayak ult, right? They love to use the kayak ult on Heaven. You can see that Jenem even knows this himself, dodging the ult, and he's going to kill kayak. I remember watching this. So Fnatic doing the same ult over and over again is probably, you know, they need to be careful about that.
A little bit more aggressive, but the drone so impactful. Using it a little earlier, we saw them struggle with that on the attack half. Booster goes swinging. All right, they're looking like a completely different team.
I think you're taking it too literally, Coffee Cup. What I'm saying, a little bit too literally. The point is that if you are low ranked, you probably aren't going to be the smartest player in the world. Like that's still true. That's not the reason for my point. Isn't about like why players are certain ranked or something.
Has made a hell of a difference, and for MIBR, not quite the difference they were looking for. Even the way the round starts out, Aspas looking for a pick on mid.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you now, the rest of that sentence is not being translated. It's just those 2 words.
You wonder why Fnatic smoked off Heaven after the willow. That's yes. Last time it was a stun. I would imagine it's because they're worried about an anti-strat in which someone is sat down here and will just kill Waylay. Or if someone's rotating here, they just kill Waylay. So the smoke allows him to clear out more safely, probably. It's just, yeah, they can still die down here. Like if KO looked right now, the kayak could be dead, right?
Step right back in, he does. That's such an important kill. It gives them the advantage. Puts them on the front foot. I'm looking at where Fnatic are going. They're looking to try and get a little bit more aggressive, but the drone's so impactful. Using it a
yeah, what Nicky's saying, basically. There's something to do with the fact that, like, it's almost more interesting for me to talk about Valorant to, like, my friend who's a Counter-Strike coach. because he'll ask me questions that I have to treat with almost more respect than someone who like knows Valorant, if that makes sense.
They're having a laugh. But yeah, double digits for Fnatic now. Their side, they're going to call it. That's a dangerous sign.
For some reason, I'm more likely to be stubborn against someone who knows Valorant very well than someone who doesn't as well, which is probably a personality trait issue. Road works in the background. My window is shut, so I'm sorry if you can hear that.
It is a weaker buy for MIBR on Aspis, but that's because he's got a blade.
Weaker buy. They do have the Cypher cages to flood, but they're playing 3B. So yeah, I mean, the game's already kind of over by the time. So I almost give MIBR a little bit of a pass here. It's not good defense, but it's like, actually, it's kind of horrible. Genom has an AWP on the A side of the map, and they have 3A, and they have Jet Knives A. They're playing retake B with an operator. Is retake B on this map on par with Haven retake A? The difference that no. Yes in isolation, no in reality. Because Haven has 3 sites, right? Haven has 3 sites. Why is my epic pen not fucking working, by the way? What's going on? Oh, I've just fucking gone backwards in time. What? Is it not working?
The close crossfire. What we
After a timeout. Ugh. I think the timeout's kind of a little bit strange. So what I'm saying is, in isolation, this site is probably just as bad to retake as Haven A. The difference is that's not taking into context the map itself. Like, retaking A is fucking hard on this side of the map too. But then on the flip side, it's also holding this is hard and holding this is hard. Holding both these sites and retaking both these sites is hard. Nothing is easy. On the flip side, on Haven, you have C, B, and A. This is very hard to hold and hard to retake. Almost impossible, but it's easier. It's like, wait one sec. CBA. In terms of retake, hold. Like, the hold here is hard. The retake here is borderline impossible, in my opinion. B, retake is pretty easy. Hold is pretty easy. Retake C is okay. Hold is kind of catfish. As in, it's like a little bit harder to hold C than you suspect, but like, people do it. So like, if you got like okay retake site, easy retake site, and an impossible retake site, I'm probably going to focus A. On this map, it's a bit harder to kind of distinguish, I think. I think in general, people do a pretty poor job of trying to hold B and overemphasize A. But I don't have it all figured out. I don't have this map figured out for sure. When you say hold, do you mean post plant hold or defender hold? Defense hold.
But that's because he's got a blade storm. The rest of the squad armed to the teeth. But the op now on Shenum, thanks to obviously the blade storm.
Why don't you watch Champs? I don't watch Champs because my commentary, I wouldn't be able to commentate on the game in this manner live. And secondly, if I have to compete with the tens of thousands of other people watching the game, I get like probably a third of the viewers I get right now. And I'd prefer to just VOD review on my own time and do it in a way I find enjoyable. And it seems like more people watch me, so it just doesn't make sense for me to watch the games live. I got 300 viewers for a Paper Rex game, and that's going to be by far the most I'm going to get.
Constantly set up for these retakes, but so far they have not been working out in favor of that defense.
But they can't stand on that left side of the site because of the breach combination.
Yeah, I watch Paper Rex games live, but I don't do this analysis for the Paper Rex games. I just kind of watch. For other games, I do this analysis, but I don't get any more viewers than I. You know what I mean? I don't get very many viewers when I watch Party live.
To deal with that player in the backline. Artsin doing his best. Althea yet to truly swing, but things on that left side of the site because of the breach combination.
It's nice. So Crashes could save this for the spike, but because he has alert coming in right now, it's very good for him to push the players up into alpha and to be very distracted and disorientated. They read it quite well. I mean, the trip, it's because of the trip. But Crashes does a good job there. Very nice post plant from Fnatic. Up until everyone just dies like that randomly. Crashes is a very good round here. I think that if I'm coaching someone on my team who is as impactful as Aspas is on my team, I think I'd be kind of annoyed if he went for this play. I think he's too much of a win condition in the rounds for him to sacrifice his life like this. Hey Alpha, how you doing? Can I ask Alpha, did Austin did you talk about, did he say he was gonna ult this for you? Or did he just ult? I presume he just ulted. Because his ult was quite good at trying to like distract, right? I didn't, okay.
Trying to find an angle, and then when he needs one, so you having that extra angle to fight.
So now is where, like, now it's where now we start looking at the thing. So what does MIBR actually do? So the 2 rounds in a row, two big BXX now. 1-3-1. Are they gonna push middle? They have an op middle. They're not gonna push middle. Aspas was even not even gonna. Aspas was gonna rotate with op. Yeah, I think they don't have anything. So I think the casters are right here to talk about the no solution. The only devil's advocate we can give is that they have Astra ult. So they could be pretty comfortable with the idea of just using Astra ult for retake here. I suspect we'll now see Fnatic push up quickly. I think that Alpha's lurk is good. I'm just worried that because Fnatic have used B quite a lot here, quickly, there's a chance that they could have been playing 3B and very quickly try and deal with stuff, and then this lurk might be too late, but... Yeah, you see the Fnatic getting up now because of the Astra ult. Very nice from Crashes. Although they're going backwards. No, they don't realize. They don't realize. Yeah, they did not realize. I was giving them benefit of the doubt. Now they're running forward. Interesting saturate from Kayak here. I wonder how much it goes through this box. Like, he hits it here. I think he had to do it because the knife was hitting him, but...
And he's completely surrounded. That tap will be heard. And quickly, not doing this again.
Second solution is... This is the best solution they found so far. The only issue is on the A side of the map, it's very, very, very weak. The other issue is they actually have KO ult for the retake. So their best solution is actually in a round in which they do have KO ult for retake. So maybe it's fine actually, because the KO here can play for retake. They can play just retake A with the KO ult. And then they just focus on this. Does Aspas not get stunned here? Ah, this is funny. So this actually wouldn't have worked at all. Usually, like, this is a pretty poor solution. Because usually you would see the stun coming in on Aspas. But because Kron's done that stun so many times, he presumes that now MIBR are conditioned to not play in a spot like this. But they're kind of not reading it very well. So they end up going for this stun. I'm surprised we don't see a dash through, like, here with this stun. So Fnatic, I think what Fnatic do is they condition you to not play this side of the map. And then they have a second exec where they'll stun here and probably dash onto this box, which is quite nice because they know you're not going to be playing here anymore, or you shouldn't be. Like Aspas is basically playing a position he shouldn't be in right now. They haven't discussed the micro of Fnatic's exec. And Alpha's been lurking every round, and this round he farms. I remember he gets the second kill too. This shot was nice. I like this skin. The skin's very nice.
Necessarily have to commit to that. You can see the rotation from MIBR, and of course they're going to rotate. You've lost 2 players in middle. You've got to expect it. Players are making their move, but I'm looking at the position of Boaster and starting to question, is this a lurk, or is this them going to wrap back through mid? Because this is what Alpha has been doing the entirety of the match so far. They know they can get into this position. The only man standing in their way is Verno.
Good camera.
It's going to be a single clear. Alpha on his own, but he doesn't get dropped. Verno was expecting the swing. The PC utility being taken out. Got him off guard. No punish. That means MIBR sit with the disadvantage now. A storm brewing. Not in front of, but all around.
It's a nice ult from Verno. Even though it doesn't hit, like he knows that Heaven's clear now, and Cortesia can just focus spot him.
He can't get out without a big fight. Finds his first. Kron is low, and he'll fall as well. 12 seconds, spike down. They need to deal with Cortesia, and they will.
You should be going W my team here. Oh, yeah, you're baiting. Yeah, you're big. I think in VOD review, I would say as soon as you camera here, for some reason I think that you guys can just go. You camera here, it's clear. I think you guys just go. It's very easy to say that, but I think that you're always going to be finishing B split anyway. Versus operator is kind of. Yeah, so it was a nice momentum from Fnatic. They won the pistol and snowballed their economy and ults. They snowballed able to get up economy for Boaster and ult economy, and then just abused B in the rounds they didn't have ults basically. Much like I criticized Fnatic for in the first game, and praised them for this game, MIBR were very static on their defense, I think. I think they had a pretty static defense. Didn't really see many push-throughs or flanks. Didn't really see much aggression. In general, I think that teams have a lack of proactivity in defense on this map, and that forces them to play many bad retakes. Yes, I would agree with that analysis. Aggression on Abyss is extra risky. I disagree. It's extra not risky because the map is already so hard to play. If you take 50/50s on this map, you're playing the map well. Okay, some Haven. We only have 40 minutes left before the game starts, so I'm gonna wait. Do I have a screenshot of this? One sec. I basically called this game that I was talking to Wendler during this game, and I said to him, I think I said to him here that I think Fnatic wins this series. And then when it went to Haven, I said I think Fnatic win because they'll change to Yoru. So I'm gonna self-glaze that I did read them here. I think that the Yoru in this comp is far superior to the Neon, and the only reason you should be playing Neon on this map with this comp is if your name is Texture. Yeah. I think this comp is very close to optimal. I do prefer the G2 version with the Fade and Vice, but I think in terms of comfort, I think that this makes more sense for Fnatic. They won both pistols. They did win both pistols. So it was a very close game. And MIBR should have won this last round, but I don't hate Neon. I love Yoru. It's different. I was watching Stiggy's stream, yeah.
Playing a bit more corrode, but decided to ban it out. So
do the Alex dance. I don't know what the Alex dance actually is. I have seen him do it. I think he actually looks pretty decent doing the dance. I don't know why the boys are flaming. Like, if the boys ever have to do any kind of dance, they don't look as good as Alex, then I would be rinsing if I was Alex. Can we find you on Sliggy stream later? Probably not, because the reason I was tuning in is because I was a fan of, you know, watching Fnatic play. Whereas the games later, I'm probably not going to be as interested by. I do fuck with a G2 Fade on Haven, yes. I think I'd have to think deeper about the advantages and disadvantages, but I do think that there are some strong reasons to play Fade. And I think Fade's general prevalence in the meta signals to me in general there's no reason why, like, the reason we like Sova in the past is for like the deep fast recons, right? But we don't, if you're playing a composition like this that isn't supposed to be diving deep aggressively, there's no point of having deep recons that are like designed to set up like a deep dive, you know what I mean? Like, the Sova was basically like a Breach Omen Sova was like a combination exec comp, you know? I think in terms of defense side, because of the drones, teams are getting better with the recon at re-clearing out A long. But the drone value at re-droning spaces on A is nowhere near as good as it used to be when it was broken. And I think Fade does just as good a job, if not better job, of info on A. I think Fade info A on defense is better than Sova's. And she still has the C's to actually stop XX. And she has a Prowler, a way of reclearing that allows her to play with the pack and not be in a drone. Attack side is where the Sova becomes a bit more enabled. But ultimately, when you have a Viper wall, do you really need a drone to, like, re-clear? Isn't it better to have two Prowlers at that point, maybe? I don't know. The recon is certainly better on Sova than the reveal is for Fade, though.
For him, but Kayak, we talked about this on the desk, is the defense, the duelist can sometimes be
so nice from Kayak to get that pick. Took the timing. I quite like this from Alpha as well. A bit of proactivity. A 5v3 now retake, so they can just play to contain. Kayak whiffs a little bit, but it's all good.
He was on this Killjoy when he was on form on this map. That was when they looked their scariest. And he had a fantastic map too.
Classics across the board for MIBR.
They've done this a lot.
Oh yeah, Kayak gets fucked here. I quite like the approach from Fnatic. Turret here means that they can play double garage with, and they put a molly here because A is hard to hold. So they got 2 people watching Garage, they have 1 person just floating, they have a Yoru sewers, and then the classics over here. Like, I think everything makes sense here. It only gets a bit tricky if they like break the turret and start like pushing back people and stuff, but it's a low buy round. You don't expect them to be able to do too much.
Get a little bit scary, but there's Crashies. A wonderful triple spray down. Bit of damage considering it was only the classics that they started, and Jalithal is the quite blind.
So I think that there's 2 things that I'm thinking about playing against this comp. One thing is that it doesn't have the best control for A lobby. Like, you don't have a breach stun to instantly take it, so the attack can pressure this at the start of rounds and take it for free if they want to. They just have to push back a Yoru probably up here. The second thing is they don't necessarily need to do it because they can come back mid-round with the Viper Wall. The second thing is Killjoy turret is going to be very exposed to being cleared out. So I do think that if we see this turret surviving more than 30 seconds every round, that's a mistake from MIBR. It is just a bonus round though, so it's an anti-bonus round. So they should be playing a fairly passive style right now. And probably not just running into Garage. Like, I'm surprised they're not trying to kill this turret, to be honest with you. Do you think buying comp is done or has uses left? I think their buying comp isn't a one and done, and it isn't a gimmick comp. I think their buying comp is very strong. This idea that Teo is somehow not good on that map is not true. They need to look at some of the ways they might be playing it and probably stop solo deathing all the time. But nothing to do with the way they lost that map was, well, very little to do with the reason they lost that map was because of the bigger picture stuff. It was they died every single round and went 45. When people play this Viper comp on Haven, why do they always play the Killjoy with it as opposed to Cypher Vice? It's a decent question that we've talked about on my Discord. Someone gave a very good answer on Discord about it. On defense side, I think I'm gonna talk about Cypher. I actually think that the Vice pairs well with it. The reason people don't play the Vice is because they are scared. Teams are scared. They don't want to run something without the amount of information tools that a Killjoy has. There's a lot of teams not doing a very good job at getting rid of the information tools that a Killjoy has. So they get away with a lot more. And playing Vice is accepting you're only going to have the wall for information. If teams were less scared to play Vice, we would see more and more teams playing Vice, if that makes sense. Teams copy other teams. The reason we're seeing so much Neon on this map is because teams copy Gen G. I think that there is sometimes a lack of critical thinking when it comes to compositions. I think it's partly because players can be quite hard to convince to do things that they don't want to do. And players see other players doing stuff and think that it must be good. I'm lucky that in the teams that I've coached, i.e. Fnatic, that players realized they didn't have control of those situations and they do what they're told 99% of the time. So I think that's the reason why Vice doesn't get played. Vice, I think, should be played a lot more, if not should be played every single fucking Haven map. Like, I don't know why it's not played. Well, I do know why it's not played. It's because of what I just said, but I don't know why it's not played in the sense that, like, I hope people will be smarter about this stuff. So we go to then Cypher. The reason Cypher doesn't pair well with the Viper is because it's more about why Killjoy is good, right? So the Killjoy with this Viper wall can use the mollies to delay with the Viper wall. They synergize together. The trip with the Viper wall doesn't actually do much, right? Like, the trip is basically acting as a static tool that isn't really helped by the Viper wall, if that makes sense. So Viper wall goes up, they can't come through Garage. Viper wall goes down, they try to go through. Now you nano them. It combos together. Like, you can delay with each other. Whereas the trip is just sitting there hoping that you don't run into it. But why would they run into a trip if you have a Viper wall? Like, against the Viper wall, they're already going to be scaling really slowly and methodically. They're not going to suddenly run into a Viper trip, you know? So on defense side, the Killjoy and Viper just pair really well together because they're nanos. On attack side, Cypher is usually doing the job of what a Viper would do generally. So what the Cypher does on attack side usually is cage A, and be the lurker on A. And what's Viper's job on this map? To wall A and be the lurker on A. And then if you could then be like, oh, okay, well maybe one of them could do something else on the map. And I look at the rest of this map and I think, well, Cypher isn't really going to be doing too much anywhere else. It's not that great. So why would we play it? On the flip side, also Killjoy on attack. The turret, like the Killjoy is very strong at playing the center of the map on attack. And then the execs pair quite nicely. Like if you put the orb down, you have the nanos for the exec. You have a bit more exec power to get you into a post plant that the Viper excels at. So yeah, so on attack size in general, Viper takes up the space that a Viper does. The only time we've seen in this game, I think, where a Viper and Cypher comp makes sense at all is on split. Because you have you have two sides of the map in which you can work extremities with these agents, and it makes sense too, if that makes sense. Like, you know, traditionally you'd see cages here, or you see the wall here, but I think that like on this map, you can just do like a wall like here, you know what I mean? The wall on B is still good. Like, you can still work extremities with these agents, and it makes sense. On no other map do I think it makes sense. Breeze. I think Killjoy is so bad on this map that de facto people will play Cypher. I think that Vice will just be stronger on this map. And I think Chamber will be back on this map. I think that Cypher will be very bad. I don't think Cypher will be very good. I think people will play it, but I think over time people will realize that these are the better agents. Even on Breeze before it went out of the pool, people stopped playing Sentinel on the map to play double duelist, right? I think we're seeing like a Gen G comp that was like the Astra being used instead with like a double dive. It was something like this, right? I think it was this. I think this became far more interesting to me. Doesn't Sage work on Breeze? Sage is very interesting too, actually, yeah. I think Sage is actually quite interesting. I think Sage is probably more interesting than Cypher. I don't know. I think that Cypher's attack side just becomes... I think the reality of Breeze is that the Viper's not being used as a scaling lurker on this map as much as we need the wall to do a fucking exec, because if we don't have a Viper on this map, we're fucked. It's not so much about having two agents that represent the same thing. It's literally, this is a smoke agent. This is our smoker. If that makes sense. So I think that's probably the better way to explain it. Anyway. So yeah, I'm surprised that MIBR just immediately on an anti-bonus run to Garage.
It is like a full investment into the round. Like, this is a gamble from Fnatic, but maybe it's that surprise element. Okay, you did so much damage, you're expecting pistols, you're expecting weaknesses. Maybe you see the first rifle, you run into another position. And I'm looking where that Stinger has already got to. It's super aggro. Artsin going through this is a pretty serious gamble if he gets caught. But he will just duck out of there. Now...
It's interesting. So Boaster was being ready to paranoia. Like, I think they saw Artsin here, and Boaster was ready to paranoia, which is kind of cool. But he is just doing his usual Boaster thing of just getting caught with U2 in his hand. Nice from Prawn, nice pressure. A nice flank here. Really nice here. That's really nice from Fnatic. You see, like, this is really nice by Kayak too. So when I talk about strong side, weak side, I'm usually thinking about defense. Like, if there's 3 people here, the strong side is A, right? But I use this term to also decide when you're doing retakes, right? So the strong side of the retake is here, right? And so the weak side of the retake is kayak. And so in terms of retake theory, the weak side of the retake should chill and contain. The strong side of the retake needs to do its thing. As soon as the strong side of the retake takes a lot of contact, that's when the weak side of the retake can start to move. But right now, Kayak doesn't know if there's 2 or 3 people just pushing him, so he has to chill. Let the people with the numbers trade out and take space. When they get heavy contact, then you can start working. So you see, he's slowly creeping up now, the more and more contact they get. But ultimately now, a difficult position.
They've done so flawlessly. It's looking dangerous. Verno had a chance there, but he's fallen all the way back as time has ticked rather all the way to the end. A Red Bull clutch coming in.
The AWS spike diffuse stat is across every map this year, not just Haven B or whatever. Yeah, that's very stupid. Why do teams just stop destroying it? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I think this might be a good example of like an insight into how teams play. Like teams, you can't tell me that teams are anti-stratting as effectively as what you guys say. Like I see the term anti-strat used so much. And in the easiest anti-strat of your life, which is this team's playing a Killjoy, and there's going to be a Killjoy turret somewhere that's easily destroyed, and it's not broken every single round, you cannot tell me that this game relies on anti-strats. You can't tell me the meta of this game is defined by people anti-stratting each other if this exists. Like every single time I watch Haven. Like it's so... I think this idea of anti-strat is so overrated. Like the idea that teams do it, like I wasted fucking years of my life now watching VODs to anti-strat and actually providing anti-strat. But when this exists over and over again, I don't believe that I don't believe teams are anti-strat in the way that they need to. I don't think that anti-stratting is as big. I think it's just a word we use sometimes. Like, if I go to Reddit and see that, oh, the anti-strat was good from this, I'm like, well, was it? If this exists, like, how many teams are doing it? I think on Abyss, MIBR had some, like, rounds in which, like, you know, they knew that the Waylay ult in Heaven was going to happen, and on some of the pistols, it looked like they had a read. But in terms of, like, game plan, is it really happening? Is it even anti-stratting to say break some Muto and C and Garage before aggressing A? Isn't that just basic Haven theory? That's the point. Is like they're playing, like that is part of this point. Is like, do teams even do that? Like, or are teams just playing a game in which they're comfortable at playing for their own sake and don't really care what comps they're playing against so much? Like, I don't know. I think the extent of that shot use goes to finding shocks to break common trips. I think it depends what team it is. I just mean, like, I don't think we can use the term as much as we do. Like, if we keep seeing this. 20 minutes to go. Depends if that game has to keep it up for them to lean off of it and default for them to spread out over the other way. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You could keep this here as bait. If you're like, you know, this team is going to rely on this turret and over rotate this way, then you can burst behind it. That's nice. But that's not what ends up happening, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm a fraud, but I really enjoy watching Fnatic play the garage part of the map though. Like, I remember Kron here does a lot of good spam. Like, even in instances where Kron isn't holding this, The amount of spam damage and threat he has here is high.
The battle of
I also like Alpha's spot off of this turret.
Alpha and Genom could be integral. I think that was actually a dink that was just connected through the wall, so already getting tickled a little bit. And the patience of Alpha are going to be everything. That spot is being checked though. Genom very careful.
And it's not against, like, again, like, I'm not like isolating fraud here as a coach, like, because it's not. It depends how your team operates, right? If your team is unable to play or understand anti-strat in that way, or isn't going to be comfortable doing it, then that could just be a problem of your team. And so it's not that I'm saying that. I do think there are probably not enough teams doing anti-strats efficiently, but what I'm saying is the term is used too much when a lot of teams can't handle it, if that makes sense. Like, for reference, I tried to do a Fnatic style anti-strat for PaperX once, and they lost like 13-0. Like, some teams just don't vibe with it. So, like, I'm not necessarily putting the fault at the coaches here. I'm just saying that we probably overuse the term in analysis. People don't understand how much uncomfortability plays into matches. Yes, pretty much.
To try and make a play, and he may have just made the play of the round. A quick double. Bosa now gets another in 20 seconds. I think MIBR might just have to make the decision to retreat here.
Why do some teams prefer Astra and others prefer Omen?
Has just turned around in his tracks.
Omen is always going to be preferable to teams because it allows them to be comfortable doing something they've done 1,000 times before. And you get a get out of jail free card with the paranoia. You don't have to think. I think that Sliggy makes a good point. Like, all Sliggy's saying usually when I see him talk about anti-strat is, this round looked like an anti-strat. And usually he's right when he says it, like, I'd imagine. But I think the community at large then interprets, like, they'll summarize a game as this game was an anti-strat game. And I'm like, I just see it kind of overused, I think.
Uses that wall to actually get himself a little bit of extra space.
Kron almost as surprised as MIBR were there to see him.
I wanted to see how Kron actually played this round, because like, he used the wall. He actually like used their Omen smoke against them. He talked about this in the post-match. I think Chronicle talked about this in the post-match, and I think he did. I don't know if people kind of understood what he was trying to say. This is exactly the round in which he was referring to when he was saying, sometimes you just need to have balls to make like risky plays, and it's this. What I'd give him credit for, though, is he needs to make a ballsy play in a 4v5 on a bonus round. Or like a low buy round. It's not bonus, it's like a low buy kind of round. So his play here, macro-wise, in terms of like win conditions, makes sense. The other thing is Chronicle is probably, I don't think he realizes it necessarily, but I think Chronicle himself has some of the best micro reads of any player in the world. Like, he knows when to take the timings and knows what positioning, and like basically his timing to peak and angles to take is very strong in a way that if you try to copy Chronicle, you're probably not going to have the greatest of times. Like, this probably isn't the best example of it. It's more of just a good play to make it a 45. But Chronicle will often take risks in situations where I don't love the idea of him taking the risk. But in his own, like, his own reasoning for it will always be that, like, he had the ability to create an advantage in the micro, if that makes sense. His intuition is very strong, yeah. He's always able to create advantages in the micro, in terms of like his aim and positioning. And he's very confident if he has an advantaged one-on-one or an advantaged time to peak, he's going to take it.
They've almost overrun this C site.
Look at the damage though.
And the stun is perfect. Kayak is completely stuck in place. Tight play from
The power of the Euro. So they tried to play a trap setup here off the turret to like deny orb and just punish the C. After a couple of rounds of Fnatic abusing Garage or shutting down Garage, they expect maybe there's some C exec and just shut it down. Who is the best Fnatic player other than Chronicle Crash's Poster and Kayak? Do you have a sub at the moment? You don't have a sub, do you? Who is Scott your sub? Thank you, Nikki, for the sub. Talking about subs. Meg is good for a ranker. Who plays Alpha? If someone's sick, does Milan play? Actually, no, Milan can't play. They wouldn't let me be the sub when I was head coach. You're not allowed to be the sub as a head coach. Oh, it's prod. No, I don't think you're allowed to be the sub as a head coach. I think it has to be assistant coach. I wasn't allowed to be the sub for some reason. Unless they lied to me, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know how good Prod is. I presume he's like a Radiant player though, right? So I do kind of like this alarm bot setup. It allows re-clearing Garage to be quite nice. I do think that teams are lacking a little bit of just explosivity on just abusing C splits though. Like teams are just trying to default Garage against this team, even though they have a Viper wall to just immediately re-clear you. Low buy from MIBR.
Nothing has been guaranteed so far in this tournament, and just because they've looked so good, it doesn't mean that if they fall to the lowers, that they will.
Surprised we don't see the Atlaw on A. Both are just playing at the top. Keep Boaster in the 2-1-2 on the anti-eco. Let's just keep him in. Let's keep him in the middle.
The only saving grace of this round. He has to do so much with it, even walking through the snake fight, and he'll find himself too. Weakens up crashes.
Ooh.
But Kayak, each barrel as deadly as the next. He's set.
Oof.
But the fact is, it is the players who played the double duelist, Kayak and Althea, that saved them from what could have been.
So so Alpha's playing Killjoy ults up here, but I think it's risky. It's a little bit risky because they can just take orb, or they can just take orb from plant, or they could just take orb here. So it's a bit risky for Alpha to play Killjoy ult here. Like obviously they're gonna let this site go and then just play for retake. So we'll see what happens if Veto does take ult. Oh, I mean, MIBR just running into fucking B. This isn't a problem. Like this, BXX aren't a problem. BXX are not hard to deal with.
Dodging the paranoia that had been sent in, took his space, crashes, lands on the Cortesia, and looks for more. He's finding two. MIBR, half the numbers of their opponent, a 2 versus 4, and nothing to show for it.
This is the Althea that's scariest. I remember rounds where he used to just jump out of the window and Garage, spray down 3. Like he's in that sort of.
When we played Vit, they didn't have save fragile subs, so Fader was supposed to play if Kicks couldn't. I think that might have been the case because they literally didn't have anyone else, and so they probably conceded that like there's nobody on site to play for them.
Didn't even know how much of the site they'd already lost. Now sits alone on the A site. That's one of the few gaps.
Oh yeah, this round. I remember this.
But with the alarm bot down, he's buying time. An immediate rotation. Verno's done well.
Maybe Kojo lied to me. I just didn't want to see me sub. But I distinctly remember us me not being allowed to be the sub in an event.
But now they've got a cross onto the side, and it's looking
I think it's because we couldn't field
all three.
a different head coach, maybe.
It's gonna be a little bit lower. A miss
Maybe
shot.
this was back when I didn't have an assistant coach,
Take that extra
and
space.
so there wouldn't have been anyone to be head
Now they've
coach.
got a cross onto the side, and it's looking easy. Arson
He chose spot 4. That has gone the way of MIBR. Of course, the economy of Fnatic is.
So yeah, now strange. So Alpha's doing it again, but it's a bait this time. So Alpha's just playing bait, which I presume is because they got Soba ult, because he can't play for Killjoy ult. So this is the kind of shit that Alpha likes to get away with sometimes.
Kayak now with the operator in hand. He might just get the first for free, but Verno gonna give it the angle.
Seems there's no shortage of players who can rewrite the script in these rounds.
I think it's a good call from MIBR to recognize that they can go A here.
Even coming into this with weaknesses, full ultimates for Fnatic.
I hope they don't just immediately kill this alarm bot. Ah, they do just hit it.
Over on shore. They'll likely be losing the space on the site itself, and again, time is being bought. Hunter's Fury being used. A little bit out of distance will be Aspas, so it's not going to have the play.
I'm surprised we don't see push-outs yet.
But that contact is still there from Alfieri. Goes swinging a little bit early. Though,
Yeah, Alpha got a bit
he might be losing the site and wants to try and join up with his team.
antsy.
They're going to double up on that short fight, but the wraparound from MIBR sends Aspas straight into the mixer.
What's Boso's obsession with this box, by the way? Boso's fucking loving this box.
They're going to double up on that short fight, but the wraparound from MIBR sends Aspas straight into the mixer.
Also, the Viper Orb on defense is here? That's very strange. Is it because I know I've teams are going heavier long, so they're trying to deny that, I guess.
Wants to try and join up with his team.
They're going to double up on that short fight, but the wraparound from MIBR sends Aspas straight into
I
the
didn't
mixer.
really do anything there. The Viper Orb was late, I'd say. I think the Viper Orb was late. That's the thing about that orb. If you're a second late, you're fucked.
Can't quite activate the ult in time. Dezia seals the deal for MIBR 3-5 now. This was looking like a damning start from them, but they found what they needed in that pause.
I think they've just been patient, and then the follow-up of Artsin every time. Like Aspas is taking the space, getting them the openers, but he's the man that's dancing.
What's wrong with the Killjoy alarm bot on A-Long? There was nothing wrong with it. What I was saying was I hope that when MIBR scaled here, if they saw the alarm bot, they shouldn't kill it immediately. They should wait behind it and then plan their exec immediately and burst off of the breaking of the alarm bot. Hey, Forsaken. Hey, Jason. Welcome, everyone. The problem is I'm literally about to finish and I have to go raid someone else. Because I'm not gonna watch the games. Like all I do is the way I do stuff is I watch PaperX when they play, and then if PaperX isn't playing, I'll VOD review the other games before Champs goes live. So I'm in a VOD review right now, but Champs is about to go live, so I'm gonna have to go send you somewhere else. But I do appreciate the raid. You guys aren't pracking today, right, Jason? I don't think. Am I leaking? Am I leaking? I might be leaking. Starting tomorrow, okay. They don't practice any days, guys. They don't practice at all. Like I said, I'm helping them, but I'm not really helping anything because they don't practice. Okay, one more round and then I'm gonna send you to Sliggy. That was Eco. Do we watch an Eco? Oh, they lose this Eco, right? So Alpha doing good. This is one of the things that I think the Fnatic always do pretty well on Haven. Is this side of the map is not afraid to be proactive usually. I know it is just a low buy round, but it is true. This is the round. I think Fnatic win this round.
tucking in, hoping he isn't clear.
Yeah.
He's gonna be spotted.
It's crazy if you look at Crashy's here. He was here.
Is stuck with the
He
ground
does the drone,
control.
repositions all the way to here. Look at this timing. Kayak takes it. Crashy peeks. Like, the exact second he gets the rotation in, he then starts getting kills.
How much more can he get? Just the one. But
The
Crashy
timing's
with the
incredible.
makes it costly.
This round, they may have lost the rifle, but the man advantage and still Crashes in the off.
That was an awkward peek.
They may have lost the rifle, but the man advantage and
For some reason, I knew Crashes were going to get this kill.
he's landing a second shot already. Individually hoping to drag the team through, but they're also
And then, yeah, like I said before, usually this side of the map for Fnatic is quite good at being active, and it is very nice here. Kron is over peeking, and Alpha is over peeking, but they can aim pretty well, so it's all good. Right, I'm done. We're a bit late, so I'm gonna send you off to Sliggy, but I appreciate you all being here. How to win anti-eco? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I've given my note to Alex. I think I have a plan. I have a plan. It's nothing strategic, but I have a plan. It might not work, but the paper. I think I said before, Jason, if you're here, they're like, you guys, your eco rounds are the best in the world. Your anti-eco, it might be. You might be the worst. It might be the worst. So the ratio between the two ideas, it's crazy. I think I have an idea. I have an idea. But the silly idea is that we never play anti-eco. We just eco all the time. That's the real idea. But... Okay, right. I'm gonna raid Sticky. Thank you all for joining. I should be back tomorrow with more review. It might not be like today's games. I don't like as much. Actually, I like this game, so maybe we'll review this game tomorrow. Anyway, I rated Sliggy. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you guys tomorrow if you want to join. If not, have fun watching Champs. Goodbye.